Gather round, we got no gods to please. Saturday night, no sermons, just ease. Discussions flow like midnight breeze. No prophets here, just minds to tease. We talk big bangs and evolution. Question faith with our solution. Stars align in our confusion. Breaking free from old illusion. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers. Open hearts and swift deceivers. Make your stand, no hidden levers. Raise your glass to reason's thrill. No ancient text, it's our own will. Debate till dawn, feel the chill. Saturday night, we've got the skill. Echoes of a godless choir. Like the world, we spark the fire. Free thought mindset to inspire. No holy walls to take us higher. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night at the Atheist. How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Splendid, thank you. And how are you?
A little crooked.
I'm doing
Supposed to
okay.
be with you.
I think I banged my camera or something. It's all good. Everybody making it through the heat wave that was involved in the heat wave, okay?
Yeah, I just waved back. Seemed to work.
Just wave back. Temperatures have dropped off here, so the wave is over, so to speak. And looks like a little more normal summer type weather. So 80s is what it should be, not near 100. That was ugly. We hibernated inside with the dogs and everything, and
So what was your temperature?
kept cool. The real feel was over 100.
Oh, okay. So it was like in the upper 90s, 98, something like that?
It was in the
Yeah.
it was in the high 90s, and then whatever humidity. One day wasn't bad. The rest of the days, though, it was really thick. I mean, you walk outside, and, it's laboring to breathe. It's just that hot, humid thing. It's like,
Yeah.
For those of you in Europe, they're talking freedom units, so don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, and like 100 is about 38. So hot as motherfuck. We're getting close to that this week over here as well.
Yeah, I know. I looked up 90 or something the other day, and it worked out to 33.333333333 centigrade.
Yeah.
I can't do the temperature. I mean, guessing kilometers and kilos, it's about 2 to 1, right? It's about close enough, right? I can guess. A meter is close to a yard, close enough. But when it gets to the temperature thing, I totally get screwed up. I always have to look it up. I can't remember how to do it.
Yeah, today was just an average June summer afternoon of 92 degrees. So I'm pretty amazed at how warm it's getting for y'all.
Well, we got 85 right now. So
a big chunk of the country was hot. A big blob of red just slowly, and it was moving slowly. So that was a thing.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem at the moment, right? A big blob of red. What?
And it didn't cool off in the evening either. So, it makes a difference if it cools off in the evening. And it was warm and muggy all evening too. So,
yeah, that's.
But I like I said, we huddled inside in the AC and kept everybody cool, and so we're all good. I went out and did very little, just a few minutes, work in the garden a few minutes, start getting sweaty. It's like, okay, go back in for a few, come back out. Okay, go do this for a few minutes. Okay, that's enough, because it just gets in your eyes, and it's terrible. So as soon as you exerted anything, all I was doing the one day was watering, just holding the hose, not in the sun, just holding the hose. And I had sweat, rolling down my temple.
Then you were holding the hose the wrong way.
Apparently, should have held it right back at myself. Yeah. But yeah, So minimal effort is the key. Don't try to go too long. Do a few minutes, take a break.
Yep.
And so in 1 week, I'm supposed to be in Kentucky. So look out, Kentucky. Here we come. It's down to 1 week for the ARC protest. And if you haven't heard about the ARC protest, I think we need to pull up the ARC protest and remind everybody about the ARC protest.
If you haven't heard about the ARC protest, I think you need to get out from under your rock.
A lot of us in the community, so to speak, are going, and as well as a lot of speakers. So it's your chance to rub elbows with Godless Engineer and Godless Granny and Chris and Jay and
and don't forget Dave from the Captive Desk. Like
Dave just might be there. Maybe more than one Dave there. We can only hope. We tend to gather. So
you talking about that Captive Desk idiot?
I think Durante Lamar, is that his name? Durante Lamar is going to be there too.
Desktop.
Durante, there's a long list. You'll see some names here in a minute. It's Desktop Idiot, Simos.
Oh,
the Desktop Idiot.
I got you confused with somebody else.
And that Answers in Atheism, whatever.
Yeah.
So headphone check on this comes in pretty bold. And we're going to run the commercial for the ARC Encounter.
I think you guys ought to order 4 Waymos when you're out there and set them on fire.
No.
Well, you might. The Marines will come in then. It'd be kind of cool. Get the Marines
Oh.
out there.
we
You
got a
can get
new
some attention.
we've got a new member. It's Scott Duke. Scott Duke, thank you very much for
Goodness.
becoming a member. And you know what that means.
He
I
jazzes.
want to become a...
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the skies, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
I love those yellow Bigfoot teeth smiling like that. No, I thought I
you
wasn't,
rock.
but then it said I wasn't, and then I couldn't put up the toast emoji, so I had to join for the toast emoji. I joined for the toast because
Well,
we love
there we
toast.
go.
here at
Yeah, we
need
love
some-
toast.
Snatter.
I need some toast.
We do love toast, and we have answers in atheism on toast emoji. You won't find that anywhere else.
No.
And
Yeah,
you know what?
People come for the toast, but they stay for the jam.
We are spreading the toast. I was on another stream. Well, I was in Simos's stream, and we were talking about toast. And I was on another stream the other day, and folks were talking about toast. The toast is getting around. And you know what I'm finding pretty universal? People love
like
toast.
People love
I love
toast.
toast.
Yeah.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
I like
Yeah.
the old one better, where they got real loud at the end. I don't know.
I know everybody said they liked the cheesy version that I threw together, and the one I worked on and tweaked really nice. I don't know about that. So
No.
That's how the
Yeah,
entertainment world works, man. You never know what people are going to love.
it's all good. I can pull the other one back too. It's I still have it, so it's all good.
Gives me
And,
Christina Aguilera vibes. That's all, you know. We love toast.
It was part of the original tune. It was just in a different verse. You know, one part just went "We love toast," and then the next one went "We love toast." So I ran it through a editor, and I took the music out in the background, so it's just the vocal of "We love toast." So
Yeah, I mean, technically it's a turnaround, so it should be at the end.
well. I was trying to make it a quick little something to end it, kind of, and you know, whatever.
Scott,
I can
which one
take the
do you-
criticism.
Which one do you prefer, Scott? The old one or the one with the turnaround?
Which one do I like?
Yeah.
I don't remember the one with the turnaround. Can you play it just so I can?
Well, No, that one is the one with the turnaround. We love toast.
I haven't noticed the difference. I apologize for my lack of awareness.
Spoken like a true
See,
jazzer.
when you start talking "We love toast" or "I love toast," whatever the song is, I start thinking about toast. I'm really mentally into the toast, so I don't really notice things.
No, as I say, spoken like a true jazzer, Scott. It doesn't matter. They're all notes.
All right. Well,
Okay. Sorry,
we're
Dave.
gonna put it.
Looking down.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in here, and we'll see. So
So everybody in the chat, we need an emojis to start and then a vote.
I got it covered. I'm gonna put it.
Can you make a poll or something?
I'm making a poll.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh,
He's
Do
still
you
got
prefer the
technology.
old toast video or the new version?
Yeah. He's great with the
Let's
technology.
see.
Oh, always a new
Oh,
version.
there we go. We did the poll. I am like a god. Look at that. Okay, we have a poll, so we'll see what folks say. If they appreciated all the effort and time I put into making the new version, or if you like the old version that I just did a quick cut on and just cranked the volume up. I'm pleading my case.
I think you have to play them both now, though, really.
We have to play them both. Let me see.
Yeah.
You do, if you're going to ask people to vote on it. I mean,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna get really pissed off if they vote for the new version. Because I'm really serious about this old version.
Let me.
yeah. I just want to say, musically speaking, the new version is superior.
Yeah, well, fuck that, you elitist.
Let me. I have to pull it back up here.
That's what she said.
That's a good one.
Let's see if this is the right one.
Oh, goddamn these cats! Anybody want a cat? I got 3 cats you can have. 4.
I don't think that would work well for me.
They need a home. I want to send them to Abu Dhabi.
Make sure and poke holes in the boxes.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
So Snack fell off a 10-foot ledge the other day onto a linoleum floor, and he limped for about 30 seconds, and then he went on a tear around the house. So I guess he was okay, but he landed on his feet. He walks around on this ledge, and we knew eventually that it was going to go wrong, that he was going to fall, and he did.
I'm looking right here. So just keep jabbering for a second.
That would be like a human falling 80 feet and getting up and running away.
There it is. Okay.
Cats are eminently
Toast.
bountiful, though.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
There you go. That's just so much better. So much more affordable.
Now, see, yeah, in this one,
That's old.
the ending just gets cranked up. Okay, so listen again.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have
The old one.
the
The
new
old one.
version. This is the new version.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
I like the new
Okay.
one better. I like the new one better.
It's
Like the
just-
new one better?
Scott, you just get out of here now, Scott.
Vote,
No,
vote in
I
the
like the new
poll.
one better.
Vote in the
It's
poll.
good. It's more lyrical. It's
I'm
more.
so done with you.
It's the sound is is a lot more connected, I guess, or continued.
I put
fits.
more work into it. I smoothed everything. I did all the editing tricks on it and cleaned it all up and everything. The first one, literally, all I did was put a cut in it, and I cranked the volume up on the cut part, and that was it. That's all I did to it.
2 music snobs here. So if you took the new version and you cranked the volume on the last part of it again, then you would have the perfect version. So
Oh, okay.
Well, I think if Beethoven were judging it, I think he'd like the new version.
Nah.
yeah,
I thought the new version, has like an ending and an exclamation of "We
That's
love
correct.
toast."
That is correct. Do you hear it? Even though, yeah, you hear it.
But yeah, I wanted to say hey to everybody. Look at all these great folks we got here already. We got, of course, the great panel joining us. We got Brainless here. We've got Scott Duke. We have Simos Funk. And we've got Mike, otherwise known as Speed of Sound. Mike and Scott are also from Answers in Atheism. And everybody here on the panel, make sure you check the description. All their links are below, as well as the Grassman Chronicles, my other channel. Link to Joe for the Kentucky Atheist. Get a hold of him. Go to his Discord. He's got all the information in a subcategory there on Discord. Same thing over there, the Kentucky Atheist. You can get all that information, as well as his other links are down below. And Ms. Bumblebree's link is always in the description because, we love Bree. I mean, we're kindred spirits after Bigfoot, right? And she also has cryptid T-shirts. So you want a cryptid T-shirt? Go get it from Bree. You're gonna buy one anyways, right? So might as well buy it from Bree. So the link is down there, so you can get that. And the main video that we're looking at, link is down there in the description too. All right.
Oh, I got to see that. I like descriptions.
I think the T-shirt should be made from brown mohair. You know what I mean?
Nice warm.
Yeah.
Maybe for the winter line. Because I think she did put out a tank top for summer. So maybe in the winter, yeah, she'd get it a little more furry. Oh, and speaking of Simos, you were saying something about getting out your guitar, maybe dusting it off. And I said something about that I was playing around with a video, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Okay. And Bree said, oh, you know, Dave, I like making music. You know, if you want to do something like that, you should get a hold of me. And I said, Bree, Simos was talking about maybe pulling out his guitar, and Bree plays a bunch of different guitar, banjo, bass, all that. Right. So I said, of course, she had connection problems and everything, and her Facebook is down. Some bug went around and kicked a bunch of people off of Facebook or something. So, but I will remind her or whatever. And yeah, because you know, you spoke about maybe people playing a little something, you know, all on their little, you know. Yeah. So yeah, Bree is very musical, and so yeah, I just thought I'd mention it. You know, we'll you know, spread the word around. Okay.
That's great. Scott, you in?
So they kicked off all the magic mushroom people on Facebook.
Oh, I'm sorry. What, you have to question, Simon? In for what?
You in for doing a little musical thing for Dave's channel here?
Oh, sure.
You have a spree and
yeah,
find a bass player. I don't know if you know any bass players. I do. If you don't, maybe I can get a bass player to join in. So,
are British people as disparaging of bass players as Americans are?
Well, I'm not disparaging of any musicians, so no. I don't hold to that, right? I'm a Jaco Pastorius fan, so what do you mean bass players can't play?
Oh, I never said they couldn't play. I'm just saying that there's kind of a seething hatred among a lot of musicians for bass players and bands in America.
Yeah, not me, no. I played in a funk band.
Is that because they always get the hot chicks?
Well, I'm not really asking if that's your attitude personally. I just wondered if, you know,
well, I mean, it's a meme, isn't it? Let's face it, it is a meme.
Yeah.
You know, how many bass players does it take to change a light bulb? You know, about 20. One to change the light bulb, and 19 to ask how Geddy Lee would do it. But like, I mean, I don't know. I saw. I've seen some great bass players in my time. Oh my god, have I seen some great bass players?
And you've got.
In reality, I love a good bass player.
Yeah.
Well, I think Bree plays bass too. So.
Oh, great! Yeah, I play a bit of bass. To be fair, so you know.
Yeah. But yeah, Simos was talking about, you know, everybody playing a little something or something, and I said, you know, hey, Scott was blowing off the dust off his horn as well, maybe, you know, and Simos said, yeah, you know, maybe it's something a little jazzy or something like that. So
yeah, a bit of jazz. That would be cool for me.
So warm up those lips, Scott.
I'm good. I'm working on something just for you, Scott. I say that it's not just for you. It's I want. I've got a song which I want Christopher Mouty to play on. So specifically, so cross fingers. I'm going to do a copy of that, and then maybe if you can play a melody over the top and do a solo on it, that would be incredible.
Yeah, that'd be really neat.
But that's kind of a separate thing, you know.
Yeah, it just came up. It's, you know, we're not promising, and, you know, They're not promising an album or nothing out tomorrow. We're just it just came up. It came up. Simos said he had some ideas, and so I said, well, might as well spread the word around. So yeah, if you're musically inclined and yeah, you'd like to do something, you know, where you could record something, whatever, you know.
If you with this all based on this channel, you bring out an album, would that be a captive disc?
It'd be, I think Simos Funk has already got the name for the album. I mean, I don't think I could top. I don't think I could top that. That's it. That's an album cover right there.
Simos Funk to be a DJ as well. Are you a DJ?
I would think we'd call it something like Little Big Feet, Bigfoot even.
Well, hey, real quick, let's say hey to everybody. Tilting Windmills in here. Hello, always great to see you. And you need another S on that S Minnow because I got a parody coming up. But good to see you, S Minnow. Ryan, good to see you, Ryan. Let's see. Hey, the mighty Filbert, how you doing? Just saw, was it yesterday? I think I saw you or something. Good to see you. And Andrew, hello, Andrew. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Andrew's got a little free time. I understand he's got summer break, so I hope you're enjoying yourself, Andrew. Nerdy Rodent.
Down at the malt shop.
Heck yeah.
Ooh, Rodent.
Nerdy Rodent is in here, and Doubting Thomas is in here. Hello. Good to see everybody.
Oh, I gotta
get caught back up. And there's Joe. Hey, Joe, speaking of, yeah, we were just talking about you. Hopefully, Joe's be able to take a breather there for a minute. I know he's busy. I say it's less than a week away, and, you know, he's doing pre-event type things, you know what I mean, for folks that are getting there early, you know, we're going to do a little socializing. So he's got a lot of stuff going on top of just the ARC protest, right? He's got folks coming in and trying to find beds for people to sleep in and all that good stuff, right? So yeah, hope you got a breather there, Joe, and good to see you.
So I got a question for the night.
Yep.
Why does being a Christian and reading the Bible make you want to burn coal and gasoline and oil? Why are they so obsessed with burning oil and coal? And yeah, why is
according
that?
to AIG, it's a gift from God, and there's hundreds and hundreds of years worth of it, and we don't have to worry about running out anytime soon. So we should just use it all up.
Yes, we do.
Why?
I don't know.
Have you ever been around a coal fire?
Christians say they should.
The oligarchs want
I don't know.
a theological reason to justify raping the earth and extracting all the resources you can for the short term.
Not just the
short
earth.
Short term.
Why?
I don't know.
Money.
Because they make money off of it.
Legacy. Money. They want money now.
Money.
So
but money.
You create
Jester.
Then you create a doctrine that says, go ahead and rape the earth. And that's what they're doing.
So Scott, they want money, but why? Why?
Yeah, well.
Why do they want money?
Yeah, why?
So they can buy things and buy women and pay off politicians.
Big
no, the only reason is it
why?
Does not have to do with buying pretty things. It has to do with them being able to control other people. Yeah. That's the only thing.
Which is power. That's what I'm saying. Power.
Power. Don't hold on, because he's going to bring some of this stuff up. So hold on. We're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. Yeah, Jester remembers the desktop idiot. That's me. We every once in a while I'll play that video because I think it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Oh, it is.
No doubt
Most
about
definitely is.
Yeah, and again, thank you, Scott Duke, for becoming a member. I'm scrolling back through the chat. Poor Claire is here. Good to see you as well. We got emojis dropping. Very nice, very nice. Robin Webster. Hello, Robin. Always good to see you. Hope to see you in about a week as well. Hello, my unfinished journey. Good to see you too. Thanks for stopping in. There's B.S. Lewis. Always good to see B.S. Lewis. There's Kafai in here. I see we're also streaming on Mike's channel too. So hello to both channels. Make sure you subscribe back and forth and all that good stuff. We appreciate it very much. Thank you. Chris Moore is in here. Hello. Man, all the best people are stopping through. Icarus, good to see you as well. And we got God in here. God, ooh, always a pleasure. I don't know. I feel like I could do a better poll than that. I did it real quick. Sorry.
Problem with God, though, is he doesn't do anything for the algorithm.
I was impressed that I did it all by myself and everything. I'm still learning all this stuff, so bear with me. Standard deviation. Good to see you too. Got a lot of folks dropping in. Good to see everybody. John, hello, John. Let's see. Ed, the Rabid Atheist. Good to see you. Ed says, I don't know how you can be disparaging of bass players after hearing Cliff Burton play Anesthesia, pulling teeth.
What?
Andrew's in here. Hello, Andrew. Skeptic Philosophy. Hello. Good to see you. Dudes, why? Or ducks, why? My bad. I knew what I was looking at. I was just thinking dude for some reason. Ducks Y is in here. Hello, Ducks.
Hey, Ducks. Ooh.
We've got so many great folks stopping through on both channels. Good to see you.
You got a super chat.
And I see that. We got a super chat from My Unfinished Journey for $5. Thank you very much. And you know what that means.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the skies, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Thank you very much for supporting the channel.
And does sending a super chat make you a super Chad? Oh.
It means you rock. Y'all rock. I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate the comments, especially ones that say thanks for the laugh, something like that. Those always make my day. I really appreciate them. Appreciate all of you. I really do. Good time hanging out with all of you. And holy moly, there is a heaven above, and it has opened up, and Gur has descended down. How you doing, Gur? Good to see you.
Gur.
And I think I said hello to everybody, and if I didn't, hello to you too as well. And yeah, so once again, ARC protest coming up in a week. So getting geared up for it. Of course, we covered Ken Ham last week, and we're going to look at him again this week. And of course, it was on my mind. And I was thinking, the Magic Zoo boat almost goes along with Gilligan's Island, right? I mean, it's, kind of the silliness of it all. So I wrote up some lyrics, and I was feeding it through the lyrics thing, and I this and that, and I changed this and I changed that, and it just wasn't getting. I wanted Gilligan's Island, so I think I got it close to a Gilligan's Island type thing. And then then I couldn't find. I was gonna sing it originally, but I wanted it to be a lot faster, and I can't go fast, so no way. So I ended up doing it with the computer, but I thought in keeping with the Magic Zoo Boat, and you know, we talk about the Magic Zoo Boat here. We have a Magic Zoo Boat emoji, right? And the art coming up, and of course we mock the Magic Zoo Boat a lot because it is ridiculous. People want to debate it and stuff, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. It's ridiculous, you know. So with all the ridiculous, and I had a little fun. So here we go. We're gonna hit this real quick, and then we'll get into the man himself, who just may make an appearance in this little video.
Just sit right back and you'll hear the tale of a righteous float that started out in ancient times upon a magic zoo boat. The rain began to pour like mad, God's judgment didn't stall. If not for Noah's floating crate, there'd be no life at all. No life at all. No life at all. If Noah and his ancient beard, his wife just rolled her eyes. They boarded raptors, stegosaurs too, all trained to sit and stay. 2 T-Rexes in bunk bed stalls, what could go wrong, we say? 3 sons with wives who taught the dinos how to harmonize. Who taught the dinos how to harmonize? There's gators, frogs, and woolly mammoths, zebras sharing beds, triceratops and kangaroos stacked 10 high on their heads. The ark was built with cubic math and doors that sealed with prayer. You ask about sanitation, don't go there. Just don't go there. Just don't go there. So come aboard this sacred ship where science hits a wall. With creatures from all continents, pre-flood we had them all. The timeline's tight, the logic light, the rain began to float. And now you're on a bumpy ride aboard the Magic Zoo Boat. The Magic Zoo Boat. The Magic Zoo Boat. The Magic Zoo Boat. Unicorns dashed to catch the ark, but tripped on fairy tales. They stopped to charm the woodland elves and slipped through magic veils. Their horns aglow, they missed the boat, no place for their parade. Now stuck in myths and bedtime dreams where fantasy should stay. Where fantasy should stay. But what about old Sasquatch? Did Bigfoot make the trip? Was he too hairy, tall, or shy to board that wooden ship? He maybe hid behind the trees, or snuck in with the apes, or rode the flood out on a log. Or rode the flood out on a log. Don't fall for tales of magic boats or creatures 2 by 2. Get smart, ask questions, that's the best thing you can do. Education shines the light that clears the myths away. So keep your mind wide open and learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Hey, with Skipper Noah at the wheel and wife supreme with nerves of steel. 3 sons with 0 sail and flare. Their wives who brought salon gray hair. 2 rhinos juggling on the deck and Bigfoot hiding near the wreck. Here on the Magic Zoo Boat. Here on the Magic Zoo Boat. Here on the Magic Zoo Boat.
Okay.
Okay, so
Awesome.
the magic.
And you know what? Now I want to see the show. Now I want to fucking see the show.
So Dave, the Magic Zoo Boat is wearing the rainbow flag. Did you notice that?
I did it on purpose. Ken Ham likes to try to take back the rainbow from the LGBTQ community. And it's like, well, you know what, Ken? I took it back. So how about that? What an idiot, right? I'm taking the rainbow back. Oh, good for you, you know.
Right.
I thought of another one when I was listening to that. Let's see if you can identify where I get this from. The zoo boat soon will be taking another.
The Love Boat would work too. Yeah. Of course, I wanted to name people, but then I didn't because it would be hard to match it all up with the characters. So, but hey, if you noticed at the end there, it just kind of ran through everybody, you know, at the end. So that was the crew there. So, but yeah, and I even made a life preserver with the. So I was having fun with it. So yeah, next week we're gonna be having fun with it as well, protesting the art. So in keeping with that, and with this silliness and all the rest, we've got more to come. Here we go. We've got Ken Ham and his friend Jessica. Let's see.
In inverted commas, friend, or
Is it part 2 or part 1 that you're looking at? You're looking at part 2, Ken
his
Ham?
biblical friend, Jessica? Oh.
Yeah, employee Jessica.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they have a book out targeting children with information about climatology. And
Yeah, and I got a picture of it. I've got it on Kindle if we need to refer to it.
And you're mentioning stuff about, oh, you know, well, we can just use it up or whatever. I'm pretty sure they're going to cover that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in keeping with, so here we go. Let's hear what old Ken Ham has to say. And the folks interviewing him are both extra special too. I didn't look them up. I think they're just, you know, podcasters or whatever. And I was also busy doing some other stuff, and I just didn't bother to look them up. So
Yeah, and the guy on the right looks like he just crawled out of his coffin.
They're probably YouTube celebrities.
yeah,
I think it's Talk Truth. WW Talk Truth. I just bought their book called The Kingdom of Cain for $4 on Kindle, so I have that one too.
Oh, is that the history of sugar or something?
It's Escape the Insanity of Progressivism. We don't want no progressivism in this house, man.
Oh, you don't want to progress.
We don't
No, we
want
don't
any
wanna progress.
progressing round here.
Nope.
Don't bring your
Yeah.
no-fangled progressing.
Yeah.
there we go. Fix that. Okay. Yeah, like I say, usually I try to look up who these folks are. I did look up the one. This is actually part 2 from last week. So this was my secondary video, and I did look up the info on the guy from the first one. And usually I don't count on getting to the second video. So yeah, I skipped looking them up. So forgive me. Usually I do that, but I don't really think they are anybody other than just hosts. So okay.
Truth.
Hey, Alan, before we get started, let's go ahead and read our foundational verse.
Okay, the
Foundational.
earth and everything in it, the world and its inhabitants belong to the Lord. For he laid its foundation on the seas and established it on the rivers. Psalms 24, 1 and 2.
Oh, could you stop there?
Yep.
There he is.
Well, if
Funeral
it belongs to the Lord, why am I paying a fucking mortgage?
You got to pay rent.
Yeah, did you find them, Mike? They're just the hosts or whatever, right?
Yeah, the guy. It's from TalkTruth.ca or whatever. The guy on the
Yeah.
right is definitely dead. I think he's dead.
Okay. I think he was here too, but that's, you know, they propped him up and he got
Yeah.
through it.
Yep.
That's actually a picture of him from when he was on the Ark, early days.
This is a weekend at Bernie's sort of thing going on here. I think.
Obviously, that verse has lots of meaning for us. We bring it up every episode, especially in
Yeah,
these shows
every
where we have
episode.
Ken Ham.
Every episode.
Every
love it.
episode. I can't even remember
Dedicated.
what it was, to be fair.
I forgot already too.
Yeah.
Come on. It's even more pertinent, Alan, that the earth and everything in it belongs to him. Why?
See, there you go. What the discussion was
him.
earlier. There you go. It's God's, and He gave it to us, and we can use it. So there. How about that, man?
Yeah. Who cares who owns it? Let's trash it. Drive it like
Yeah.
you stole it.
Why is that important information for people to know?
Well, because man, obviously has
pushed away God over the decades and the centuries.
Pushed away. I wouldn't say that. I think
Open
No, it
their
doesn't seem
eyes.
like it.
yeah, and
like,
you know, a lot of
isn't it
people
basic?
still, a lot of people have walked away from religions, but they still have beliefs and stuff. So
Yeah, no, but also, wasn't it God that pushed the people away with like basic being a homicidal maniac? I don't know.
yeah.
And to be fair, it is hard to push away an absentee father. So
Yeah.
I've
Well,
done no pushing.
Well, and they're playing the victim of it, like, they're taking away our followers, and it's like, well, I think it's your job to bring in the followers, right? So maybe you're not doing such a good job, and that's why you're losing followers. Maybe, just a possibility,
Could be.
could be.
Till we get to the place where we are today. And where we are today is man thinks that they're God. Man thinks.
Can I express
Go
my
ahead.
particular theory?
Go ahead.
The reason why people are quote unquote falling away from God is because the propaganda machine that was the church has, frayed and disintegrated. It's lost credibility. They should have really, really stopped abusing youth a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so it's no wonder that people are falling away. The church has no real answers about the nature of life. It just has assertions and myths can be fun stories to tell. But when you know reality, the myths don't satisfy anymore as explanations. Myth used to be the scientific explanation that was all they had. And then when we invented actual science, we don't need to know about bears in the sky that that are basically the representation of a myth we all believe. We study the skies, we study stars, and those are amazing stories and amazing truths themselves.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if the church and people that worked in the church had actually come up with something useful for modern society, then maybe they wouldn't seem so redundant. But just telling us Iron Age myths week after week, it's not really doing it when you think of all the ideas that modern society has decided to invent to make life better. Vaccinations, germ theory, those kind of things, internet, those kind of things.
The hypocrisy and the misdirection involved in this bullshit that claiming that we're affecting the climate is man playing God, when it's so inverted, their thinking on this stuff, right? And then they talk about how we're supposed to be stewards of the earth. We're supposed to take care of the earth. And they're saying, no, we can't do that because God is taking care of the earth. So, I mean, they speak out of both sides of their mouth here.
Yeah. We're supposed to be
Depending on which passage.
We're supposed to be stewards of an earth that Jesus is going to come back and destroy.
Yeah. And so what are they saying? Are we supposed to be stewards or are we not supposed to be stewards? They're claiming if we're stewards of the earth, if we're worried about climate change and we try to do something about it, about our contribution to it, then we're playing at God. So, I mean, what the hell are they saying?
I think Ken Ham and some of them are actually saying climate change as part of the coming do away with the earth by fire thing. I think that it lines right up with it's going to get hotter and hotter, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you one thing they could have done, or Jesus could have said. If Jesus had said, this wine is my blood and this toast is my body, maybe, just maybe, things would be different. Yes. But no, he had to give the unleavened version.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
All right, let's speaking of,
and I don't mean that like the monkeys said it.
me see the poll here.
My tummy is happy because I just had toast. It was delicious.
The poll is not looking good for the new version.
No.
People are liking the old version.
Yeah, I'm just an against the grain kind of guy. I just like what I like, and I admit it. And,
we got 2/3 are liking the old, and 1/3 are liking the new. And if you haven't voted, this is your opportunity. Get in on the poll here, because I put a lot of work into the new version, and
Well, just raise the last the volume on the last part, and you'll be fine. You can use the new version. Everybody will be happy.
Is it because I took the music out of it? Is that what it is?
No, it's because you lowered the volume on the end, because the emphasis at the end that I love toast. I mean, it's just like, it just bites you, right?
Yeah, I make a shorter pause as well. But
I think we should just get a live metal band to sing it.
Yes,
I think that would be perfect.
Well, we'll let the poll go for a while, and please vote in the poll, because this is vital. We have to resolve this. We really do.
We have to resolve it.
It's that he can dictate what we should eat, what we should do, when we should go, when we should stay, what we should buy, what we should sell, and he's not God. God is the one that created.
Trump is talking about Trump.
I
don't know.
Go or should I stay?
More emphasis. Should I go or should I stay now?
Thank you.
If I stay, there will be trouble, and if I leave, there will be double. So let me say some I'm lost with the lyrics.
Thank you for saving the joke. Appreciate that.
Everything. God is the one that gave us the earth and everything that's in it. God is the one that made us male and female. I mean, all the answers to the problems of today are there because God created it. And so,
because
all the problems are because God created. Did you catch that too, Brainless? Okay, yeah.
Did he mean to say that? Or?
I don't think so. Well, they propped him up, He
meant to say all the solutions to the problems are because God created the solutions.
Something like that, yeah.
But he shortened it down and got his theology backwards.
Hey, let's.
Or he meant it. Yeah.
Put Katie Dodson's comment on the screen from 4:53 p.m. or 5:53, probably your time. Katie Dodson.
553. Katie. Robin Webster.
The SBC is selling its headquarter building in Nashville to cover legal expenses. This is awesome.
$30 million building. Maybe Ken Ham will buy it. He's got lots of money, unfortunately. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, tough. Too bad for you, right?
creation and allowing God to understand that, or allowing us to understand what God has done, is very, very important.
Yeah, it's not the World Economic Forums. It's not the WHO. It's not.
All right, right there. World Economic Forums and the WHO. Okay, now, countries that decide to use, things like not fossil fuels and, green up the place, and it helps everything. It helps with, they talk about pollution and everything. It's like, it helps with pollution, not just the climate. It helps with pollution. It helps with everything on down the line, to a point of why aren't we using, especially solar, right? With the sun gives us more energy than we could ever possibly use if we learn to harness it right and store it right, correct? But
yeah,
what, like Mike was saying, what is driving you to say, oh no, I don't want something that's, free from the sun?
Yeah, the
I
sun
want
and the
people to
wind.
have a dirty, nasty job that's hazardous to their health. To dig up these the coal and the oil and to tap the gas and everything else they do. They're dangerous health risk jobs and everything. And all I could think is, yeah, boy, it'd be a lot tougher being out in a nice field somewhere in the sun and the fresh air without the smokestacks in the background, working on a solar panel, right? Why wouldn't that be a better job, right? Now, of course, obviously,
because they don't make money from that.
yeah, wages and everything need to be taken care of. It's but the big picture though is no, I want black lung. That's what I want. I don't want a solar panel. It's just the heck's wrong with you, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Brainless, you're supposed to be fired up. Tell them what's wrong with you.
What's wrong with them? Like, the list is shorter if you ask what's not wrong with them. It's a greedy little cunts.
Deconverted man. Hello, deconverted man.
Hey, deconverted.
Good to see you.
Not Bill Gates. It's not Anthony Fauci. It's not.
Oh, cripes. Here we go.
Boy, here we go.
Well, first of all, I forgot the snipe at the WHO, okay? This is an agency that's basically like charity, okay? You give them money, they give people medicine and food, okay, and potable water, right? This is what they do. Our president thinks you're supposed to be getting something back out of it, like it's a business or something. It's like, no, okay? And they have eradicated diseases in many places, doing great things, okay? And again, why are these two Christians, supposedly, folks, bad-mouthing the WHO, which was, from my understanding, would be perfectly in line with Jesus saying, help the sick, the poor, and the needy and everything, right? That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. And Mike, again, we can't figure it out, can we? Why are they against, helping these, especially these children that don't have clean water? I mean, why would you be against this? It's that's something I can say. Oh, the WHO. Ooh, the boogeyman. The WHO. Ooh, yeah, idiots.
See, what you're not doing, Dave, is reading the Greek New Testament. Language. And so you would understand that when Jesus, said all that stuff, he meant only if America's in charge.
Right.
That's what he means. Is it's up to America to be in charge of everything.
Justin Trudeau, it's not theirs, but they act.
No, these are government leaders, and like we were talking, if government leaders think, you know what? Probably a good idea to get free energy from the sun instead of giving people black lung. I think that's something to vote for. I don't know why people would say, no, that sounds like a terrible idea. Black lung for everybody, What?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's just this, it's these, one after another, he's throwing these boogeymen out there. Just things that people have heard on the news. They don't know what the heck it is. They don't know who Justin Trudeau is, probably. They don't know what the WHO is. But I've heard those things on the news. Yeah, and they're saying it now. So they're bad.
Fauci, the devil.
Oh, Fauci. Oh, yeah, the guy, saving your life. He's another terrible one.
He's the devil.
And Bill Gates, of course, Bill Gates.
Bill Gates,
controversial back and forth or whatever. We're sitting there using Windows unless you're on a Mac, right? Shut up.
Yeah, but to
Bill.
be fair to them, Gates. I mean, if that isn't a satanic name, I don't know what is. Gates of hell, right? You see what I'm saying?
No, Gates of heaven.
Both of them have gates on them. They're trying to keep everybody out.
Yeah, or in. We don't know.
Hello, Purple. Good to see you.
Hey, Purple.
Purple says Purple might be at the protest as well, so may see Purple at the protest. I'm gonna get P purple. What is it? What is it? The repetition is that onomatopoeia or P.
I have no clue.
An onomatopoeia is words that sound like the thing they're a word for, like zip or crack or whatever.
Okay. What is it where you keep using the same letter? P.
That's alliteration.
Alliteration. Thank you very much.
That's repeating.
That is the word I wanted. Alliteration. Purple says, I will be at the protest and picking up the sinister porpoise along on the way. All right.
You know, if you're going to have a protest, you need to have a porpoise there. And if you're going to have a porpoise there, it should be a sinister porpoise.
Absolutely. And yeah, Robin Webster is going to be there, permitting everything. And so, yeah, all kind of folks. And that's one of the best things is being able to meet all these people in person. You know, that's probably the best part of this whole deal. You know, the protest is just for a couple hours. The rest of it is going to be, hey, shaking hands. Nice to meet you. Right.
I know somebody who's not going to be there. Guaranteed. Noah.
Yeah. Well, can't have everything. Fred Harvey. Hello, Fred. How you doing?
Hey, Fred. Yeah. Is Noah gonna show?
He's a Noah show.
He's a Noah show. Yeah.
But wasn't he given eternal life or something like that? Or did he die as well?
Up in heaven.
He better have.
Oh, there we go. So,
Did all that work. I mean, you know, on top of all the other work, right? We keep talking about the gopher wood, right? If that gopher wood was as tough as it really was, it also meant that it was that much tough to work with as well, right? To cut it and mill it and everything. So it had to be, you know, I mean, you're talking about stuff that's nuclear proof. And he had to cut that stuff and mill the boards and everything. That's quite a feat. You know, it's adding up, really. The accomplishments Noah did are mind-blowing, really.
No, magical.
And the Magic Zoo boat, I know. And, of course, making that little ditty, you know, I played it like 50 times, you know, so I'm walking around going, Magic Zoo boat, I'm singing it.
So...
like it's theirs.
It's a good TV
They act like they're the saviors of ours because they're going to save us from this terrible climate change.
Yeah, that would be a good idea because you two sound like some idiots that will burn styrofoam in your furnace. Demon Orb. Good to see you, Demon Orb.
Ooh, Dorby, how you doing?
Yeah, once again, it's like, oh, they're going to save us from ourselves. Well, yeah. Take the hint, right? Why do we need to be saved from ourselves?
Aspirations. You could have worse aspirations. It's like, I want to organize and lead efforts to reduce pollution, to reduce wasteful consumption of energy resources, create sustainable environments and agriculture. You could do a lot worse than that. And if it does save lives, which it will, then what's wrong with that? Nobody's trying to replace your God. Probably aren't even thinking about your God. Just
they're going to be in
to live, you know.
Yeah, they're going to be in the crowd booing, though. That's the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
You know? I want to give you all these good things, and they're going to go, boo, we don't want that.
Yeah, and even a lot of people that are pro all those climate change prevention things and helping people are actually Christians.
It's very odd.
In that way, I don't have a problem with Christians. Like, if you say you're a Christian and you act the way that Jesus acted in the Bible, the way he's described, then, like, I will not have a problem with you. Because then, yeah, if you're helping people, go fucking ahead. Go help people.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you do it because you want to or because you feel a God wants you to do it. Like, Go help people, you know?
It's like these days there's not as much litter and stuff around as back in my day, because anti-littering campaigns,
Yeah.
rules and regulations about littering. You remember that episode of Mad Men where the leading character, I can't remember his actor's name. It was John Hamm. I mean, the actor was John Hamm. The character I can't remember. He and his family were having a roadside picnic because they were traveling, and they just ate and tossed their trash and stuff on the ground. There was no receptacle or whatever to put their trash in. They just left it there and went on their way, which is kind of it's like saying, "Oh, see, you're just wanting to save everybody from litter, to save the countryside from being ugly and polluted." But if you do organize, if you do have a smart civic policy, if you're involved in your community, you can make a difference. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you say it's wrong because you're trying to replace God, you're just a weak-minded little simp who's just jealous that people aren't listening to you and your religion, because there's nothing wrong with saving lives. Absolutely nothing. No one would condemn that except a stupid fundamentalist evangelical.
Our conversation today is a little bit about climate change with Ken. It's fascinating, kind of what he has to say about it, what Genesis has to say about it.
Yeah, because somebody that has no education in it whatsoever at all is the perfect expert, who also is mocked. We covered it last week, by his peers as well. So this is not a Christian thing. This is a Ken Ham thing. Okay, just to be clear.
And God has a lot in the Bible to say about his creation, right?
Yes, he does. And the beautiful thing about this book is the science of climate change.
What?
Dear.
What?
Oh,
The Bible?
I think he's talking about Ken Ham's book.
Either
Ken
way,
Ham's?
either way, there's no science from the Bible or Ken Ham. Nope.
But yeah, the Bible has a lot to say about creation. Unfortunately, nothing useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he wrote. He wrote a book, and I happen to have it in my hands, but it's entitled "Climate Change for Kids and Parents Too."
Climate change for kids.
And it's a fabulous book.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's fabulous.
I mean,
Mike owns it. So, Mike, how fabulous is it?
Is it fabulous?
It's not so fabulous. The first thing he says, it's important to realize the importance of worldview, especially if you are a Christian. Your worldview is going to determine what the facts are. If you have a worldview, right?
Oh dear.
Yep.
So he's basically, in his first sentence in the whole book, he's already debunked the whole book.
Yep.
Pretty much.
So, okay, well, guys, this was a nice stream. Good night. What the fuck?
And hopefully we can get some of these books for people to get their hands on it.
Here's part 2 with Ken Ham. He is the founder and CEO of Answers in Genesis. That's part of the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter. Ken, thank you so much again for being on the show.
And I don't know what the heck's wrong with his camera. I didn't do it, but they bent his face. Do you see it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's bent sideways.
What do you call that? Fisheye lens or something?
I don't know.
I don't know what they're did
maybe
with the camera there, but
maybe that's what his head actually looks like.
Maybe they forgot the filter.
He kind of looks at Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, he's all stretched to one side. Anyway, I didn't do that.
Drooping. Yeah.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Ken, before we get into our next... Go ahead, Alan. No, you go first.
Well,
I got a ton of questions. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
Ask the question.
No, you've been to the Ark. I haven't. Go ahead. You start.
Well, I just... why do you think that there is such a silence about creation in the churches today?
What?
Because, again, most of Ken Ham's peers laugh at his theology. They teach the Bible according to how they understand their theology lessons. Ken Ham last week admitted that he has no theology lessons. He's got his own view and his own interpretation, and that's what they're putting out. Now, Ken Ham will say, I'm standing for the Bible, but so do the other theologians, and most of them disagree with Ken Ham.
Yeah, and also, I think, another reason is most Christians in the world are not young earth creationists, because that's a stupid idea to believe in, given the mountains. And when I say mountains, I mean a mountain that not even a flood could cover.
Not even a magic zoo boat. Not even a magic zoo.
Wouldn't need one. Also, how lazy of God is it to do that? To fucking ask Noah to make a boat? Honestly. But nonetheless, mountains of evidence that go against the young earth creationist view. And so therefore, he's in a complete minority along with these two guys. I wouldn't be surprised if these three guys are probably in the last generation of people to believe in it. Just saying, 90%.
Oh,
Wow. Be nice.
Good question.
You got a couple of hours?
Yes.
So,
okay, got a couple hours? He said that last week, too. That's one of his standby jokes. Yep.
I laughed last week, so if you want to see me laughing to that joke, just go back and watch last week's show, because I ain't doing it twice.
The first time you told it, yeah.
Yeah, he's got his go-tos in every interview.
in summary, let me say, I believe it really comes down to a problem with our leaders, the Christian leaders.
They're all wrong. Yeah. So here we go.
I blame Jesus.
Ken Ham's never wrong. Everybody else is wrong. So I got it.
Because so many of our pastors have been trained in seminaries that have not taken a stand on Genesis 1 to 11.
They went to school and they learned how the interpretation is. And like Ken Ham has been told before, you don't understand ancient Hebrew. So there's a big problem there, Ken. Yeah, and we covered that last week. The interviewer actually asked him why it's not just the scientists, but the theologians. Why does almost everybody disagree with you, Ken Ham? And yeah, he is a laughing stock among Christians. He's just really good at making money, and he is. I will give it to him. He can raise some money. Let me tell you, he's got friends with deep pockets, and he knows how to sweet talk them and raise a lot of money. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He's very good at raising money. It's a shame that he doesn't raise it for something else. You know what I mean? Think of all those millions, and he could have raised for something more. Now, Ken Ham does do an annual charity drive, and I will give credit to him for that. He does give kids pencils and paper and all that. Yes, there's some Bible stuff in there, but if the kids need paper and pencil, good on him. But other than that, though, it is a big money-making operation, and they all make a lot of money. My understanding is Ken just bought all his family new houses and everything to spread the money around. So, yeah, there is a lot of profit being made as well. And hello, Tori. It's good to see you. Any other digs on Ken Ham before we go?
No, only one to help the grave. Get it a little deeper. You know what I mean?
All right.
They compromise with evolution millions of years, and
they compromise with evolution in millions of years. And I believe you just said this, right, Simos or Scott? Oh no, they're in the 21st century, right? And most of the believers are. Many we've looked it up. Joe from the Kentucky Atheist and I have looked it up before. A majority of religious people around the world, across all religions, including repressive ones like Islam, that have to include the repressive countries in their numbers, right? That's going to pull it down a little bit. Still was at 52%. A slim majority, but a majority that accept modern science, well accepted science, Ken, you're up against the world and across the spectrum of beliefs and cultures and everything else. That, once again, like Ed said, you're a laughingstock. And it's because you deny what was very obvious to people long ago, that there was long ages, there's lots of layers. It's not all from one deposition. They're different in every layer. It showed long ages, and long before you can blame Darwin or anyone else, they said, probably took a long time to lay down all those layers with all those different environments. So there you go, Ken. I don't know what else to tell you other than your science denial is one of the top reasons that people leave the faith. One of Ken Ham's big problems is people leaving the faith, and he thinks this is going to bring them back, when in fact, it's one of the top reasons that people leave, along with things like hellfire preaching, anti-LGBTQ community. The top things that they push the most are the top reasons that people walk away, because they don't want to hear it.
And I'd love to know the explanation that someone like Ken Ham would give for how the White Cliffs of Dover, right? Famously, the White Cliffs of Dover were laid down in a year. Right.
They have explanations that a big wave came in a certain area and just put it all right there in that one spot. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Right. Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're talking the Magic Zoo boat. When we covered Major Coleman the one night, he said the tidal wave that ripped around the world was traveling at like 16,000 miles an hour, which is like 3 times the speed of sound, I think, or something. Now, if anybody knows that has dove into water, at a certain height, water becomes like rock hard, right? It acts like a solid. So when it's moving at 3 times the speed of sound, once again, Gopherwood is some tough stuff, because it survived basically a concrete wall ripping around the world at 3 times the speed of sound.
So when tsunamis happen like that, even at 100 miles an hour, if you have like an 800-foot high tsunami or flood, it actually melts like 5 feet of rock at a time from the bottom. It'll actually melt the rock. So you can imagine how the zoo boat would have fared.
Well, it was Gopherwood, So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
we're poking fun, but we don't have Gopherwood. So, we have to give it to them that maybe this Gopherwood was just that tough. However, like I say, it goes right back to the problem of how did they cut it and mill it if this stuff was tougher than, what's the best stuff we got nowadays? Reinforced steel and what's the other stuff that they make the planes with? Carbon fiber.
Okay. Yes, carbon fiber. Yeah.
Yes.
I just put a good geology video out in chat. It pertains to the age of the Earth. There's a really cool geologist called Myron Cook who goes around and talks about different formations, and he showed one in that video that could not possibly have happened except over hundreds of thousands or millions of years. Mm-hmm. So it's a good video to watch. Anyway, he's a really cool guy too.
And they were already up to millions of years before Darwin. And I think Andrew says too, geologists, including prominent Christian geologists, have rejected flood geology since the time of Darwin. Yeah, and it was, I say, that's when the science was hitting, and they were already realizing that there was long ages. So
Hutton, 100 years before Darwin.
You can throw out
evidence for it.
Yeah, you can throw out Darwin. You can throw out all the dating methods, and goes right back to them just looking at the layers and that they were different, and it had to be long ages. They had millions of years long before any of this. Everything he says about it is a big fat fib, and that's what he does basically.
Hmm.
To really ask a question why that is so, why so many of our leaders would say it doesn't matter about millions of years, doesn't matter about Genesis. And I really.
Because for what my understanding, and we've talked about it before, is if you believe in Jesus and that he rose from the dead and he's the Son of God, and you truly repent of whatever's holding your heart back, you're a Christian. That's it. And Ken Ham will even say himself, well, no, it doesn't really matter how old the earth is, but we want every word in the Bible to be to our fitting, unless it doesn't fit, and then it's a metaphor or poetry. So yeah, there's a reason, Ken. Okay, and once again, you can even go to the rabbis and stuff, and they'll say, well, Genesis isn't a science book, right? It's talking about that God made everything, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what it says. Okay. It's not a science book. It's just saying, yeah, God made it. All right. But he has to have it in a certain order, and it has to be in 6 days, and it has to be 6,000 years ago, rather than just leaving it fluid and open and just, well, God did it, right? God made everything. And then I put my faith in Jesus, and then I go to heaven. That's really all you need. And all his nitpicking is just for his Ark Park and everything, his own little thing to celebrate how smart he is and how he's outsmarted even people who speak Hebrew, which Ken Ham does not. Nor does he speak Greek, nor did he take any Bible schooling at all, because he already knows better.
Yeah, and also it occurs to me, it just occurs to me that every time I think about this, it occurs to me that, how did they get the date of 6,000 years, right? Well, traditionally, we all know that, what was his name? I can't remember the guy's name.
Bishop Usher.
Usher worked all this out in the 1850s, right? Around the 1850s. Mm-hmm. So, I don't understand how he's prepared to take somebody's word from 1850 that just roughly guessed the ages of people, added all the numbers up, and then put a bloody date on it. And yet Darwin, who spent 20 years doing scientific experiments to work out that natural selection is a plausible explanation for the mechanism, right, of how things evolve. No, obviously that's the same age roughly, and yet that's completely out of order. And yet James Usher's got to be believed because he's got the word bishop or something. I don't know. Or his evidence is the Bible. It's dumbfounding how somebody can be so stupid. And then on top of that, how he manages to keep raising money. I mean, how stupid do you have to be to give somebody that stupid a lot of money?
Dr. Joel has talked about it on his channel. He thinks there's people that have a lot of money that they're trying to just keep rolling around to avoid the tax man. And possibly he's friends with them. So whenever he needs money, they just give him a bunch of money. So they don't, it's just floating around somewhere money. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when it's rolling through like that, it rolls through the system as well, so to speak.
Right. So my understanding is that you can get if you can give money to a charity, that can be tax deductible, right?
Yep.
Is that it in America as well? That happens? Yeah. Yep. So obviously he's a charity, so money they give to him is tax deductible. So the accountants have got to give it to somebody. But how stupid you have to be? Again, how many worthy charities are there? Well, right.
I heard Hovind gets $300,000 a year.
Well, you can make up your own figures. Own a charity.
He's basically a millionaire, though. I mean, people pretty much say, "Oh yeah, he's pretty much a millionaire." It's like, how? I mean, at least Ken Ham is trying, right? He's got. I will give it to him. He's got a professional-looking place, right? I mean, it's all paved. It's all.
Yeah.
you have a place where you buy tickets and concessions, and versus Hovind, you roll up on the dirt road and he comes out and he goes, "Howdy, get in the Jeep, I'll take you for a ride." And there's a bunch of cardboard signs tacked on trees, and it's like something your kids made in the backyard. You know what I mean? And yet they'll still give him a substantial amount of money. It is amazing. I understand where Ken can look respectable, and people will go just because, right? I mean, he built this giant boat building. Of course, there's going to be some people that go just because, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Hawaiian shirt guy, though, I mean, it's a KOA campground is what it is, with a bunch of cardboard signs tacked on trees. It's and he still pulls in that much money. So
now giving donations to the KOA would be better than giving them to this guy.
Yeah, because some of those KOAs could use a little cleanup. Just saying.
Yeah.
Line is because the devil knows if you undermine Genesis 1-11, you've undermined the foundation for marriage, the foundation for the family, the foundation for the sanctity of life.
Here he goes. And I've got a big problem with him owning marriage too. Okay, the Bible doesn't really say what a marriage is, and it doesn't say anything about how to court somebody or anything like that. It just says Adam said, "Woman, you're my wife," and that was it. There was no ceremony. There was no certificate. There was no, nobody presiding over the event. None of that. None of that. I don't see how he can say, well, see, that's all where marriage comes from. And it's just like, really?
Technically, it was a false marriage as well. I mean, it's not like they met each other and went, "Oh,
yeah,
you're nice. Yeah, you're nice too." No choice whatsoever.
No choice at all. Yeah.
The foundation for why we wear clothes, the foundation.
And that's another stupid one. Every time he says it. The Bible is the reason we wear clothes. I got news for you, Ken. When you're cold, you wrap something around you, okay? Even the other apes, I've seen them. They get the big leaves, and they wrap the leaves up around them when it's raining and stuff because it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a sin, Dave. I mean,
it's
they're
so
literally
stupid.
Wearing clothes because they sinned.
Yeah, they were suddenly ashamed that they were naked, and it's so stupid.
So I mean, again, Dave Allen, one of my favorite comedians, said, of course, you realize that if they'd been ashamed of a different part of their body, we'd all be like going to nightclubs, right? Going, "Oh, I saw her nose," look, and women would be walking around with little G-strings over their nose, trying to be attractive,
Yeah, Jer, like I said, Hovind's place it's a joke, right? It's literally, and of course, he's always, "Come on down," this and that, and I know not a lot of people go through there, and it's like, for a lot of reasons, it's kind of scary, it's again, it's like when you go to a store or a restaurant, and it's just, unless it's got some really good underground food or something, you know what I mean? You're not going to draw the general public when it looks dirty and like a bunch of kids are running it. It's like a lemonade stand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Bible does say what a marriage is. The church makes a record that the girl is no longer is property of her father and is now the property of her husband. Same as selling a goat. It's a livestock trade. Yeah, women and children are pretty much property in the Bible. Another great thing, and we've got Jess here. Hello, Jess. Speaking of, another person going to the ARC protest. Hovind is the used ARC salesman of the world's ARC exhibits. He has the used car salesman vibe. Yeah, and he is building himself a teeny tiny little ark, and I guess he ran out of 2x4s and duct tape because he's been asking people for money for that.
If you go around the back, you find all the failed ones that he's selling off cheap.
He's probably got the money, but he'd rather pay it with someone else's money.
Oh yeah. Well, they were saying one day he drove a couple states away or something to get a printer fixed, and somebody said, "Why would you drive that far to get a printer fixed?" And he said, "Because he probably found somebody that will fix it for free."
Yeah.
So he spent all day on the road just to get a printer fixed. You know, cheap, 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 cheap.
Foundation for gender, the foundation for
The foundation for gender. No, it isn't. And if you're going to talk anything about gender, Ken, first of all, your book is very confusing on it. And secondly, there are people that have different chromosome mixes. It seems to be that way, how your God did it. So shut up about it already. All right.
the gospel, the foundation for everything. And that's why Genesis 1 to 11 has come under such attack. And sad.
No, it hasn't. You just set it up that way. Hey, Jasper. And Jasper's saying hi to everybody.
By the way, when he was driving 2 states away to get his printer fixed for free, his car was belching out carbon dioxide.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but that's what God wants.
And he drives, always used vehicles, which aren't the best in the first place. And yeah, he don't care either. But this is more nonsense. Oh, see, Ken Ham's being attacked because he takes Genesis literally. And they attack the Catholic Church, the Pope, and everybody else for how they read the Bible. And it's like, yeah, see, people read the Bible different, Ken. And, speaking of Kent, Ken and Kent don't really speak much of each other, if you've ever noticed, because they had a disagreement as well. So there's always the problem of you Christians can't agree, you young earth creationists can't agree, the young and the old earth creationists can't agree. All the different versions of Trinity or not, was it Calvinist or not, all these different views and all these denominations, and it goes on. And our favorite Jim Bob was on last night arguing with the Mormons, telling them, well, see, it's silly that you believe that. And I'm like, really, Jim Bob, tell me about the magic zoo boat, right? It's like, you could sit there and say this other religion is silly while I'm sitting there going, you're both silly.
Yeah, but that's called indoctrination.
Yeah. Hello, Ape. Good to see you.
Hey.
The ape is in the house.
Many of our Christian academics and many of our theologians and others in our seminaries and Bible colleges have been so intimidated by the world. I mean, if you don't believe in evolution and millions of years, if you believe that God created in 6 literal days just a few thousand years ago, and believe the Noah's flood was global 4,300 years ago,
the magic zoo boat, yeah, you get laughed at a little bit if you think those things are literal. Meanwhile, though, people can still believe in the Bible and see those stories as not being taken literal, but that there's some kind of meaning in the story. You
reject evolution and so on, you'll be called anti-academic, you'll be called anti-intellectual, you'll be called anti-scientific, and there's been such an intimidation.
Yeah, maybe take the hint.
All of those are true descriptions.
Yeah. He just doesn't like being told that. It's like, you can't call me anti-scientific. You can't. Yeah, yes, we can. Hey, we got the Daves are here, man. Simply Secular Dave. Good to see you.
Yeah.
We were talking about the ARC protest, and we were saying, well, you never know. There might be a Dave invasion there. It happens, I mean, the Daves just show up. We know they're where the Daves are, and we all.
My in-game name is Dave, by the way.
There you
one
go.
I use.
It's sad we've gotten to the point where education is now used as an insult or indoctrination. Yeah, that's what he does. I say one of his top books is called The Lie. Basically, he's calling all the scientists liars. That's what he's doing.
foundation. And these days too, if you believe what we believe in Answers in Genesis, you're not going to be published in the mainstream journals. There's a lot of academic pride involved in all of
journals.
this.
Mainstream journals. No, I'm pretty
But-
sure you can get published in I don't know, Cosmo, if you really tried.
No, Ken Ham has his own journal now.
Ah, well, there we go.
His people couldn't get published anywhere, so he said, I'll fix that. And he started his own journal. And you know who the editor of the journal is?
Is it him?
It's him. That's right.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, lucky guess.
And you know who's in it? Is about everybody that works for him. Funny how that works out, isn't it? Wow.
And now they can claim to have published research because
Yep.
it's published in his journal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, many of our pastors now have been brought up in seminaries, Bible colleges, where they have not been taught the truth about Genesis, haven't been taught the foundations.
Maybe they did, and you should have learned it, Ken, because there seems to be a big wiggle room, so to speak, when people are talking about Genesis, that it isn't a literal thing. It's basically saying God did it in a little, what do they call it? Like a poem, right? In, the first day, the second day, the different things like, it's a form of writing. And it says, where'd the stars come from? God did it. Where'd the planet come from? God did it. Where'd the water come from? God did it. Where'd the day and night come from? God did it. Where'd the animals come from? God did it. Where'd the birds come from? God did it. Getting the hint now?
Yeah,
That's
where
what
did
it
sin
is.
come from? Oh, God didn't do it.
Well, he made the snake, which I'm still confused about how he punished the snake to crawl on its belly. I haven't figured that one out, but
I'm pretty sure he made the tree of good and evil.
Yes, he did.
I'm just saying, it's got it in the title, evil.
Well, I
also,
cite Isaiah 45, I think it is. I, the Lord, do all things, good and bad.
There we go.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Blame him from the old version of We Love Toast then.
Yeah. I have to pull back the old.
Sorry, Mike.
How is
I'm
the
not having
poll
a go.
doing, anyways? How's the poll? Well, the poll has changed a little bit. It's 42 to 58 now. So, folks, I just so you know, we have a poll up on the We Love Toast video that I play because we love toast. And some folks said they like the old version better than the new version. Now, the old version, I just cut it real quick and jacked the volume. On the new version, I put a lot of work into it. Okay. And I took the music out and I smoothed it and I made everything real nice and everything. But there's been a pushback against the new version. So
basically, you overthought it. You overthought it. So.
But to be fair, I put it to a poll. So if you haven't participated in the poll, do you prefer the new version that I put a lot of work into, or do you prefer the old version that some people seem to like better?
Nobody gives a shit how much work you put into it.
I already have it loaded in StreamYard, but I can change it if folks do prefer the old version. And of course, it's all good. But it is closing. It is closing. So come on, folks. I know you like the new version better. Come on. You got to admit you like the new version.
Old version.
What do we got? Oh, yeah, we got plenty of time for that poll yet. All right. Hit that poll. Everybody hit that poll. Make sure if you're watching that you voted in the poll and vote for the new one. Okay.
And the old one.
Vote for the old one.
They should have been. And for many of them, I talk to pastors who even very conservative pastors who say, to be honest, we don't even know how to deal with Genesis. We don't even know what to teach. And for many of them also, it comes.
Yeah, I'm sure they just have no idea. I don't know. I'm just a pastor. I just don't know, Ken. Why don't you tell me? These stories are always so lame. Like everybody's a big dum-dum but Ken Ham, I'm sure the pastors have their way of preaching this thing. It's what they do every week. I mean, Ed was in here. He knows. I mean, that's what you do. You write a sermon, right? I mean, you always, giving sermons. And when you're not doing that, you're officiating weddings and funerals, or you're doing Bible studies, or you're counseling somebody. I mean, you're pretty much talking about it all the time. That's what they do, right? Unless they're, taking 5, mowing their lawn or something. That's what they're doing, Ken. And he insults the pastors and the theologians as much as he does the scientists. You know what I mean? You're all a bunch of dummies. You don't know what you're doing. You're doing it wrong, right on down the line, even though, again, he's never studied anything, including theology.
Comes down to, what would I say? Worried about division in their church. Because I've had so many pastors tell me, if I took the stand on Genesis you do, and I preach that from the pulpit, I'm going to create division. There's going to be, scientists or teachers or some others in the church that
they're going to stand up and say, "Why are you teaching that nonsense for?" There are other interpretations of the Bible. There's many we've already brought it up. Christians have many interpretations of the Bible, and they find harmony somehow with not taking these things literally, Ken. As long as you still have the Jesus rising from the dead, and that gets you into heaven, you don't really need the rest anyways. So that's probably why, because I think he's been told before that people are worried about saving souls, what they're supposed to be doing, which, has a lot to do with Jesus. So, yeah, telling people every Sunday the scientists are a bunch of dummies, it sounds petty and silly, and I don't know how you're really saving
Just
souls
plain
by
wrong.
doing that when you're driving people away when you're supposed to be pulling them in to save them. So you're doing it all wrong, Ken. But I appreciate all your hard work in chasing people away.
So he's really obsessed with the first 20 pages of the Bible. What about answers in Leviticus? Why don't we take that little bit where they answers in Leviticus is what we need. We need to take a stand on Leviticus and whether or not we should be killing everybody and killing the women who have lain with a man and all that shit. So we should start a new organization.
I think Deuteronomy is the other one with all the nasties in it.
Yep.
Yeah, they like to avoid those. Even William Lane Craig did for a long time until he finally just gave in and said, well, when God did all those bad things, it must have a good reason. And
good reason, yeah.
That was that.
Well, basically, being a cunt is a good reason for doing shitty things, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Still,
Jesus is risen. So is sourdough Jesus. Here we go. Jesus was a socialist hippie. Yeah, there's interpretations that he was stirring up trouble in the day, and like I say, you F around with Rome and you find out, right? And that's what I think happened. You can debate forever and ever who or what happened, what he said, everything else about Jesus. But if you're going to say, well, there was probably somebody that was starting trouble and ended up on a stick, it's sure. A lot of people did. I mean, look the wrong way at a Roman somewhere and they're putting you on a stick. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No problem with that. It's everything else that goes with it.
Back in my day, if they had their way, all of us long hairs would have been put on a stick too.
Yeah.
They're going to be really upset. It's going to create divisions.
Micah, it would have been a tie stick.
And I prefer to have someone on my stick, but I wouldn't mind being on a stick. Never mind.
Oh, you're bi-stick? Are you bi-stick?
Are you bi-stick?
Dude.
Any port in a storm, right?
Like, to put it like more guys get it, related to cars. A real man knows how to drive a stick. Ride a stick. I've never.
Ride a stick.
Yeah.
Some of these people
A
are going to
wonderful-
leave the church.
And Jesus, of course, made a bicycle made for two.
You know, we have got to be prepared to stand boldly on God's word, stand unashamedly, and stand without compromise. That's what we need to be doing.
And there's that no compromise thing again, too. And see, ultimately, Ken wants it his way or the highway. That's including all the churches. Ken wants it his way. They're reading it wrong. He wants it his way, period. No compromise. You heard it.
That's what our churches need. And let's face it, for all the compromise, stand back and have a look. There's massive, catastrophic generational loss from the church. Much of our church is very lukewarm and not impacting the culture as it should.
Oh, and there's the other thing. See, he wants to rule society too. He don't like the gay people and everything else having all their rights and whatnot.
Yeah, no, because if it would be right, then like he might be afraid that he'd come out himself or something.
Well, that's another subject, but it's from what I understand there and what I've seen, they're big on pushing their social issues, which is LGBTQ and abortion. They push that big, and they're more focused on that than doing their creationist stuff. And I've noticed when you watch Answers News, they'll do like a little bit of their creationist stuff, and then they have a big chunk in the middle that's almost always about LGBTQ and abortion every week. And then they finish off with another little creationist thing. So it's become a big focus of their ministry to, get into social issues where they ought to keep their nose out.
It shows to me that God doesn't like his creationists to have good eyesight, does he?
No, he doesn't. And, I've pointed out, that terrible science that Ken Ham doesn't like all the time. He sure likes his glasses, and if he doesn't have his glasses in, I know he's got contacts in. And I can go down the list. His son-in-law has a pacemaker. Georgia has a cochlear implant so that she can hear. These things are truly wonderful, right? Their buddy Ray Comfort, he had a kidney stone or something. He was Facebooking from his hospital bed. Here I am. Funny, Ray, you're not praying it away, right? Same thing with that Benny Hinn. He can wave his jacket around and cure everybody. As soon as he had some pain in his chest, and it was like, oh my goodness, right to the ER. Amazing. Yeah, you go down the line and, all of a sudden science is great when it's doing something for me and helping me see and hear and keep my heart going and everything. It's great then. Yeah. The rest of the time, they're a bunch of liars in on a conspiracy theory, and they just want to hate God. It's such nonsense. And again, hundreds of millions of dollars go through this place. I'm not saying annually or anything like it, just over time and stuff. Hundreds of millions of dollars roll through this place.
I think actually annually it is hundreds of millions.
Well, he's not just got the ticket sales and the building of the thing and that. He's always building something else. He's putting in another little building for selling arts and crafts or selling food or something. And then he went and he bought a model of Jerusalem, so he needed a building to put that in.
Yep.
And then he built a Ferris wheel or a carousel, so he needed a building to put that in. And he's always got all this stuff going. There's so much money going on there.
And we've lost so many generations from the church, and many people don't know how to defend the faith. They don't know how to deal with what's happening. They don't understand what is happening. And I have many people who say to me things like, but we can't deal with all these problems. I mean, you've got the gender problem, the LGBT.
There it is. You got a gender problem and LGBTQ problem. There's no problem, Ken. All right? You don't want to be in that community. You don't like that community for whatever reason. You want to be a jerk, whatever, fine, keep it to yourself. You're fully within your right to be a jerk, okay? But you've got no business sticking your nose in other people's business. When it comes to their civil rights, all right? You're just
human
a bigot,
rights.
all right? That's all. That's it.
Yeah, just their human rights. Like, and like they keep saying like, oh, we want to keep our right to keep our religion. Then you should not fucking encroach on someone else's rights.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll
Like,
take yours away
like,
too.
And like, if you're not a cunt about it, and like you actually use your religion to like just have a community and like together do something good, like I will fight for your right to exercise your religion. I actually will. I don't have to agree with it, but like you'll have your you have the right to do it.
And it's nothing new. I mean, there's been gay people and transsexual people and transgender people and whatever is the full spectrum, bisexual, heterosexual, asexual, how many sexuals? There's always been all this mix, okay? And again, it seems to be that's the way God made people, okay? For some reason, people find certain people attractive in certain ways or not, okay? Seems to be in our hormones and in our eyes and in our all these things that trigger us to say, oh baby, look at that, I've got to get that phone number, oh my goodness, right? And then a lot of times they say no, then you're like, dang it.
Yeah.
But we are driven for these things, and somebody likes somebody, leave them alone. See, they want everybody to be miserable. I really think that is anything. You've seen it. If you enjoy rock and roll music, it must be the demons. If you like video games, it must be the demons. If you like Smurfs, it must be the demons. Anything people get any amount of joy from, including who their partners may or may not be. No, that's bad. That's everything bad and demons. Well, what can you do? Right?
Yeah.
What can you? That's what I always want. What can I do that's not going to get me in trouble? Right?
Well,
you can sit there and read your Bible all day. Yeah.
Yeah, be a miserable cunt. Read the Bible, interpret it the way they want you to interpret it, and spread misinformation.
I defer to Ezekiel, right? Eat, drink, and be merry, for the dead know nothing, right?
Well, the irony is, of course, that in many, now centuries ago, of course, people that were LGBT would have joined the church to become or to get away from having to marry. That goes for nuns and monks.
Yeah.
They literally became priests because they didn't want to marry.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't do
and
it.
then they become priests, and then they have all those cute boys walking around, right?
Well, that's another thing entirely. But like what I'm saying is, like, there was such a pressure on people to get married, and and if you weren't married, you were looked at with a slightly strange eye, and so people used to find vocations in which you didn't have to marry in order to at least not be judged by society in that way and be ostracized. You could be a perfectly respectable member of society by becoming a priest or a monk or a nun, and you wouldn't have to deal with all of the bullshit that went with having a nature which was contrary to the norm.
Katie says, nowhere in the Bible does it say that God is happy or laughed. No rule against it. It just isn't done. Yeah, where is happy God? I mean, you think God would be kind of happy being God and all? I mean,
but that only happens in the background on the stories where he murders little kids, like when he sends a bear to rip some kids apart. Like that's if you read between the lines, you hear God laughing.
Scott's got to call it an evening. Thanks as always for joining us, Scott. You have a good evening.
Thank you,
Nice,
Scott.
yeah.
Oh, also, I mean, let's face it, if you lived in the Iron Age, fun was probably not one of the easiest things to find. And
Yeah,
if you lived in the Iron Age in the Middle East, then absolutely no chance, really.
that's the real reason they hate progressives, is because progressives are all about like, oh, let's be nice to people and let's enjoy ourselves and let's be free and let's, they hate that for some reason. The whole Christian thing is all about hellfire and brimstone, suffering.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Vesta's in there talking about their first car, a 66 Shelby Cobra. Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, no, I think this is mainly a Middle Ages thing. This, this downness on fun and enjoyment.
Yeah, well, and Paul was celibate, so he was a little grouchy.
Anyway,
just saying.
another reason, right? There you go. Paul himself, he never liked women right from the beginning, right? And that's fair enough. But did he have to write it in as if he was, heterosexual? No, he could have just said, "Look, I'm not into women.
Yeah,
that's just me." You know what I mean? Everybody be themselves. But no,
LGBT worldview problem. You've got the marriage problem, gay marriage.
There's no gay marriage problem, Ken.
The gay marriage problem.
There's no problem. It's legal. Okay. The only problem is you trying to make it illegal. That's the problem. Leave people alone. If people want to get married, let them get married. Here's the other thing, Ken. You're all big about basically the adultery issue. If they're married, there's no adultery. This solves a big problem, Ken. I don't know why you're against people getting married. I really don't.
Next thing they'll be marrying their cats, But who gives a shit? If you want to marry your cat, I don't have.
Just don't consummate it.
Yeah, don't consummate.
You say that the drummer.
That would be. Can you imagine what your dick would look like if you tried to consummate that marriage?
You say that the drummer and Queen married his car, so
yeah. Hey, I just had a memory come up on Facebook from a couple years ago when I first got the puppy, and my arm was shredded because he would bite me, just playfully, but those puppy teeth are like little razors, and I had scratches all down my arm, and there's the puppy there with his toy giving me the sweet look, and my arm's all bloodied up. It was well worth it though. It was so much fun, and puppies are so much fun. You got to pay the price, but he's such a love. I mean, he's always happy always wagging his tail, and he comes up and he always wants love, and he's just the sweetest dog. So great dog. Even though when he kind of messes up once in a while, mostly nothing too major. Knock on wood. All hail Bigfoot.
Problem. We've got all these different problems. And I say to them, but wait a minute, that's because you don't understand worldview, because most of our churches aren't teaching what it means to have a true biblical worldview. They're all symptoms of the one problem. They're not different problems. They're all the same problem. The problem is they built their thinking on man's word instead of God's word in Genesis.
Yeah, and there you go. We don't live in a Ken Ham theocracy, so he cannot be happy.
He's right, though. They're all symptoms of the one problem, Ken's worldview. Yeah,
it is.
Ken's worldview.
There's a common denominator, Ken. You might want to learn what that is, and it seems to be you.
And so if they're all the same problem, they're all the same solution. And what is the solution? Well, Corey, Alan, the solution has always been the truth of God's word and the saving gospel. That's always been the solution. But the trouble is today we have generations who've been indoctrinated.
And see, once again, the saving gospel, you're going to fall under grace. So you know what? You could do all kind of things, including sexual things, as long as, I'm saying consenting adults, obviously. You could live a life of partying it up, so to speak. And then you could find Jesus later on in years, and you accept Jesus, you repent, and you go to heaven. So this isn't the idea that you have to behave really isn't there under grace. That's one of my big problems with grace. You don't have to behave for most of your life.
against God's word, who think science have disproved God's word, and particularly in Genesis 1 to 11.
Science has disproved your interpretation of some things. Yes, absolutely. Other people do not see the Bible as a science book, so then there's no contradiction. There's no problem because they're not reading it as a science book. Your problem, and what our problem is with creationists, is you're trying to use science somehow to prove your Bible, rather than just staying in your Bible and just saying, well, it's miraculous, God did it, I don't understand, God's ways are above mine, God's ways are mysterious, just leave it there. But no, you have to try to bring science into it, and then you get pushback because your science is terrible, it's often misinformation, and that can lead to actually harming people. And that we have a big issue with, Ken. Go ahead, Brainless. Tell them. Bad, Ken.
Yeah, no, yeah, that like exactly what you're saying. Like, why are you gonna spread misinformation, you stupid cunt?
Yep.
And again, like, shame because he doesn't even know Christian history. But of course, there was a time when science was fully supportive of the Bible. Scientists were literally using the Bible to try and find out how the world worked, right? How God's creation was made, how it worked, and they were using that inspiration to do science. And just because it turned out that the book itself was wrong, right, and that these scientists who were trying to work out how God's creation was worked decided to actually find out for real instead of just accepting any old bullshit given to them by their fathers, because that was the case, then of course things had to change, right? And a literal interpretation is was no longer feasible. This is even before modern science was really born, right? These are all scientists that had started this revolution, right? So the fact you deny science, right, it just shows what a poor Christian you are, because you don't understand how science even came about in the first place. Francis Bacon was a Christian. Copernicus was a Christian. This was a Christian. Newton was a Christian, maybe. So I'm just saying, like, these people were all heavily involved in the faith and had the ultimate faith that they trusted that however the world worked, because God made it, it must be part of the truth of God. And because he loses his faith and thinks that, I don't want to read a load of books, I don't want to read a load of history to find out how this actually came about, then I'm sorry, just because you have a lazy mind, Ken, as we like to say on this channel, don't we, Dave? That's all he's showing. He just has a lazy mind, and he can't be bothered to find out what the actual facts of the situation are. So
Ken doesn't know much about history. He doesn't know much about biology. He don't know much about the French he took.
Or the Greek.
Hey, we got Ryan Cultastic in here. Hello, Ryan. Good evening. And Michael's dropping in too. Hello, Michael. Good to see everybody. And yeah, we are talking about Ken Ham. We're getting geared up for the protest next week. So I got to build up my immunity a little bit, so to speak, and talk a little Ken Ham.
And that's where much of the church has compromised, which is why we're not giving the answers that the world needs. And yet, I find an incredible hunger out there. More and more people are looking at the culture, and they've got this sense of what is going on, and is life just meaningless and purposeless? And
see, you went from the culture thing to what, life is meaningless and everything because what? Because there's LGBTQ community, so all of a sudden your life is meaningless. How does he make this leap?
We're all gonna die.
Life is meaningless. You just got to find your own meaning.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
and not be a cunt.
Well, because two men can love each other deeply and want a lifetime relationship together, they're all of a sudden, all heterosexual marriage is meaningless. Clearly,
Yeah,
it's
somehow
just ridiculous, right?
yeah. It doesn't change my marriage at all if the person across the street marries whoever they marry. It has absolutely nothing to do with my marriage. Nothing whatsoever. Oh, and speaking of marriage, hold on a second. Speaking of marriage, I can get up here. For a second. Speaking of marriage, one of my oldest and dearest friends that I've known ever since we was just tiny little dudes first playing with other kids in the neighborhood. That's how old, okay? There was three of us, all right? I don't want to give out names or anything, but the other two had never been married. One of them did have a son, but I don't think he ever got married, and neither did the other one. So, out of the three of us, I was the married one. Okay, well, one of these persons, not the one that has the son, the one that doesn't have the son. Again, old and dear friend, you know who you are. I got word that he is getting married this September. And I got an invitation. They're having like a weekend event. They're going to have music and everything. He's big into music. He loves going to the big shows and everything. So he's gonna tie the knot. He's a couple years younger, 2 years younger than me, I think. After all these years, congratulations. You know who you are, and congratulations to the person that accepted as well. Again, I don't want to name the people, but the happy couple know who they are. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be the end of the summer, so woohoo! Congratulations. All the love and all that kind of good stuff. May you have a blessed relationship, so to speak, right?
I'll pray for him.
We're all praying for you, brother.
Congratulations, Dave's friends. And
it's really
marriage,
some great news. I just figured, some folk, we're just talking, not to say they haven't had relationships. They've had relationships and everything. Not the quintessential bachelor or anything like that, but maybe, some of my friends just, aren't going to get married. I've got a couple a couple other friends too, never been married either. One of them's been in a relationship for as long as we've been married. In fact, they met at our wedding, and they've been together ever since. And but they've never gotten married. So it was kind of a neat little thing, getting married, and it's because it's kind of the age where my sons are going to weddings. You know what I mean? Yeah. And here I am, without being like the father of the groom or the bride or whatever. One of my friends getting married, so it's like, all right, it's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Right? Yeah. So.
Well, speaking of weddings, like last Wednesday, it was my parents' wedding anniversary.
Nice.
50 fucking years. 50
Awesome.
fucking years. And still really, really in love.
Good. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah. That's that's like in a year, like 50 years. For fuck's sake. How you keep that up for 50 years with him? Nah.
That's great. Well, and in celebration of it, we're gonna take a little intermission here, and for the folks that weren't here earlier, this is for you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear the tale of a righteous float that started out in ancient times upon a magic zoo boat. The rain began to pour like mad. God's judgment didn't stall. If not for Noah's floating crate, there'd be no life at all. No life at all. No life at all. If Noah and his ancient beard, his wife just rolled her eyes. They boarded Raptors, Stegosaurus too, all trained to sit and stay. 2 T-Rexes in bunk bed stalls, what could go wrong, we say? 3 sons with wives who taught the dinos how to harmonize. Who taught the dinos how to harmonize? There's gators, frogs, and woolly mammoths, zebras sharing beds, triceratops and kangaroos stacked 10 high on their heads. The ark was built with cubic math and doors that sealed with prayer. You ask about sanitation, don't go there. Just don't go there. Just don't go there. So come aboard this sacred ship where science hits a wall. With creatures from all continents, pre-flood we had them all. The timeline's tight, the logic light, the rain began to float. And now you're on a bumpy ride aboard the magic zoo boat. The magic zoo boat. The magic zoo boat. The magic zoo boat. Unicorns dashed to catch the ark, but tripped on fairy tales. They stopped to charm the woodland elves and slipped through magic veils. Their horns aglow, they missed the boat, no place for their parade. Now stuck in myths and bedtime dreams where fantasy should stay. Where fantasy should stay. But what about old Sasquatch? Did Bigfoot make the trip? Was he too hairy, tall, or shy to board that wooden ship? He maybe hid behind the trees or snuck in with the apes, or rode the flood out on a log. Or rode the flood out on a log. Don't fall for tales of magic boats or creatures 2 by 2. Get smart, ask questions, that's the best thing you can do. Education shines the light that clears the myths away. So keep your mind wide open and learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Hey, with Skipper Noah at the wheel and wife supreme with nerves of steel. 3 sons with zeros sailing flare, their wives who brought salon braid hair. 2 rhinos juggling on the deck and Bigfoot hiding near the wreck. Here on the magic zoo boat. Here on the magic zoo boat. Here on the magic zoo boat.
Woohoo!
And we are celebrating, so to speak, the art protest coming up next week, which I am going to. So we're having a lot of fun with Ken Ham and the Magic Zoo Boat. Fabio, thank you for joining us. Good to see you. And we've got, speaking of, the Daily Atheist Morning Show. Hello, Chris. We was just speaking about the Magic Zoo Boat. Now we're going to be talking about the Magic Zoo Boat coming up here. And Chris, I think, is on with, are you on with Neil tonight, Chris? I think, maybe. Always a good show over there. And Leah's here. Hello, Leah. How are you? Leah. Always a pleasure to see you. Yeah, we will be at the protest. We'll be in spirit with you. All right. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, I forgot. I've got my stuff ready. I just got to put together my sign. That's something else I got to get busy on. Maybe tomorrow I'll finish up my sign. And yeah, other than that, I just got to pack my bags and we'll be on the road. So yeah, we've been talking about the ARC protest. We ran the commercial earlier. Joe was here earlier as well. And yeah, all the information you need is over at the Kentucky Atheist on Discord. He's got a drop down over there with all the information for the ARC protest, and including getting a t-shirt and all that kind of stuff. So if you need it, there's the place to go. If you can't find it, whatever, you know, get a hold of me or somebody here. We'll get a hold of Joe for you. All right. Yep. And don't forget, It's summertime in Kentucky, so dress cool, bring your sunscreen, and bring water. Make sure you stay hydrated. Don't need anybody dropping off, okay?
Put in our hearts. You know, Romans 1 tells us he's made it evident to all that he's the creator. And Romans 2 tells us that the law is written in our hearts. We have a conscience, so people know. And we find, for instance, at our attractions, 30% of those who come are non-Christians. Think about that.
Wow.
And I'd like to know where he gets these numbers. Do they poll people when you buy your ticket, what religion you are or something?
No.
And that's great news. Leia's got completed the Associate of Science, and I'm doing an astronomy internship this summer. Way to go.
Oh,
Good
cool.
for you.
Cool. Ooh.
Go ahead, Brainless.
I just see him in the side chat. Hey, Gio. No, and like, no, they don't pull the people that buy a ticket. They, with those numbers, they just pull them out of their ass.
Yeah, I don't, 30%. It's like, yeah, says who? You? Probably. Yeah. Robin's going to be at the Pangburn booth. I guess Jess is going to be at a table there too for, was it FRF or something maybe? Yeah, so a bunch of folks will be there with tables there at the protest too. Geo, hello Geo, good to see you. Can't the Pope say the Ark never happened? And that would be that? That would be nice. He did that with Purgatory, why not the Ark? I know, and be done with that nonsense. Jeez. What's Leia up to? Leia's, I'm near the Smithsonian this summer, so I'm loving learning about all the evolution in millions of years. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. That's great news. Leia used to be religious, and they have taken on a new perspective in their future endeavors. So that's always great to hear.
30% non-Christians. And you know why? Because there's such a hunger, and God gives them that hunger.
Hang on a second.
And
Just to let her know that we're watching Ken Hovind. Is it? No, Ken, what's his name?
Ken Ham.
Ken Ham. We're watching a Ken Ham video. We're not going to watch all of it because we don't have millions of years, do we?
Oh, I know. If only we did. Sorry, Ken.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a zinger. I know.
And because we're bold about who we are. We don't hide the truth. We're very overt about God's word and the gospel. We don't hide any of that. And so they come to the Ark and the Creation Museum. And I've had many non-Christians tell us, there are atheists that come. We've seen Sikhs, we've seen Buddhists, we've seen Orthodox Jews and Muslims. And we have...
because some people just going to come see the big boat building. We concede that, Ken, that you're going to get people that are going to come see the world's biggest ball of string too, just because, it's like, where do you want it? Some people do that. Where do you want to go? I want to go see this, and they go and they see it. That's what people do. Okay.
Yeah, they're called pink elephants, aren't they?
Yeah, that's well. And if you like to travel, it's a destination. You eat along the way. You see the sights. No, there's no harm, no foul. Tourism helps everybody. All locales appreciate tourism.
Some more than others. Also, the Buddhists, for instance, I mean, they're also very bold about the way they what they believe in.
Oh, fucking Brits.
Phantom. Good to see you, Phantom.
Also, lots of Mennonite and Amish and even Baptists and Presbyterians.
Even Baptists, really? In the southern-leaning United States, you get Baptists? Who'd have thought?
And charismatics. I mean, there's all sorts of people that come. And they're people that a lot of people, you would never see a mix like that in church. You just wouldn't today. But they come there, and we're overt about God's word in the... we're going to destroy the earth. I think it's down to 6 or 7 years now. This prophecy they have. Genesis 8:22, after the flood, God said, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will not cease. And
See, Ken, I'll agree with you, and I will cite George Carlin, the late, great George Carlin, that said the planet will be just fine. It's been through worse than us, right? I mean, things have come and gone through this planet's history. It's been hit by things. It's been a giant ice ball. It's been all sorts of different comings and goings of all kind of species and everything. The planet's still here. The planet will be just fine. If we're gone, I mean, there'll be some plastic laying around, but the planet will be just fine. You know what George Carlin said? It's people that are effed, right? That's what they're leaving out. They're like, oh, and I believe even Ken's mentioning it, that, well, God promised that the planet would still be here. Oh, yeah, I'll give you that one, Ken. Doesn't mean that we're going to be here, though. That's what they skip right over. That, oh, somehow we're hurting the planet. No, the planet doesn't care. It'll get over it,
Yeah.
in other words, to say that man's going to destroy the earth, I'll tell you right now, that's absurd. That's ridiculous. God's going to destroy the earth.
I love it. Oh, I mean, we predicted that at the beginning of the show, I've got to say.
It's absurd and ridiculous to think the planet is going to be destroyed because God's going to do it. Okay. Well, I'm going to throw back to it's absurd and ridiculous to believe that, Ken. How about that?
And you better get ready for it, because when he does, he comes back again. It's going to be destroyed by fire, and that's the final judgment. So make sure your heart is ready and you're trusting the Lord for salvation, so you know you're going to be with him. So we don't have to worry about man destroying the earth. The other thing to remember is that God gave man dominion over the creation. That doesn't mean we abuse it, but it does mean God has allowed us to use the resources of this earth.
There you go. Asking earlier, Mike, why? Here it is. Well, because God said, here you go, burn it all up. So that's what they're doing.
So in the book, he talks about eco-fear, and it's an atmosphere of fear, and they just want you to fear. Well, what he just said is you got to get your heart ready to get burned alive. I think God fear is a little worse than eco-fear. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's also commanded, Mike. It is commanded in the Bible, is it not?
No, yeah.
To fear the
good
Lord.
thing.
Yeah. If you don't fear the Lord, you're not a proper Christian.
Can ham pizza with pineapple? That's bananas. Nope. Different things.
Yeah. I asked the important question there, you see. Does pineapple belong on Ken Ham?
And we have Serbius stopping in here. Hello, Serbius.
I said to G-Man once, a long time ago, the beginning of a debate we were supposed to be having. And I said to G-Man, do you fear the omnibenevolent, loving God?
Mm-hmm.
And he blocked me.
And we've done it in all sorts of ways for scientific advancement of medicine, which is great. Man has dominion over the creation. The modern day climate movement, we have to understand, is an anti-God religion.
You have to understand that. It's difficult to do because it don't make any sense. But
none at all. Caring about the climate issues is anti-God.
Yeah.
Okay. Nonsense. It's what he specializes in, though. There it is.
Right? It's not based on observational science, actually.
Thermometers are not observational science now. Okay.
It's based on man's.
Bible, to be fair.
What's that?
Neither is the Bible, to be fair. That's not based
You're
on
right.
observational anything.
No. Yeah. Well, he has to set up his observational versus historical science thing. And of course, he leaves out we have ice cores that they can release the air bubbles out of from hundreds of thousands of years ago. And he might even mention it, but of course, then he'll just dismiss it because he says it's only actually a few thousand years old. The ice age and everything came after the flood, so that's not even 4,000 years ago.
Belief that man is God and man's going to save the planet, and it's a worship of the creature.
Nobody believes that man is God. For fuck's sake, you stupid fucking cunt!
If we were God, we'd just fix it, right? Yeah.
Like,
well, we screwed it up, though. You know what I mean? Like pointed out, there was a time the Cuyahoga River was on fire, right? And then we realized, oh, well, we probably shouldn't be dumping all that stuff in the river because the water caught on fire, right? So these things have, I mean, we've abused, and our country has a bad record too of just rampant abuse of fossil fuels. For progress and everything, and other nations have done it too. And we can't, and now we're faulting China for doing the same thing when they have factories to power as well.
They're going through their evolution right now with all the science and the industry and shit like that.
But they're in the same time, though, there's nothing wrong with progress. And we've made progress. Again, we've passed a lot of regulations. Of course, they're trying to get rid of them all. But there's regulations that say, hey, you shouldn't dump that stuff in the water, right? These are all progresses towards a better environment. And so would be getting rid of them almost altogether, except for, some lubrication applications or whatever, but otherwise, giggity on the lubrication app. Nobody said anything.
I just got an email.
Sorry,
from Ken.
I was typing. I was sending a message. But okay, because you asked, giggity.
All right, there we go.
I just got an email from Ken Ham asking for blood donations at the Creation Museum. And my first thought was blood sacrifice. What are they? So you can get a free ticket. So you know what they charge to go to that museum? $57.
Yep.
I'll be goddamned if I would pay $57.
You got to pay for parking too.
Oh my God. What the hell?
That's kind of ironic, really, because everybody knows you can't make a good baby sauce without some good blood.
Yeah. Donate blood at the Creation Museum. Get a free ticket.
Don't put it past Ken Ham to put it in little vials and sell it in the the gift shop, because
sell it to the
with as creepy as these
as the blood of Jesus.
With as creepy as these two guys on the right look, I'll be goddamned if I'd let them take blood from me. I don't know. I'm not, because I think they're vampires.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like if you give it or not, they're probably gonna take it anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
Creator. It's another example of the Romans 1 issue. I remember when John Kerry in America, politician John Kerry, came back from the World Economic Forum. Because
this is where he gets his science from, is some Fox News headlines about John Kerry. Okay. There's a problem.
About a year or so ago. And he said this. I watched him on television say it. He said, there's an elite group of people that are going to save the planet and are going to save mankind.
Yeah, the people that are way smarter than you. Absolutely. I hope they do.
But that's quite a low bar. So,
well, I always have hope that there's those people behind the scenes, you know what I mean, that are still doing the right thing. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I've been wrong before.
In other words, we are our own God, which is Genesis 3:1. When man rebelled, the temptation was, you can be as God. You be your own God. And see, that's what man wants to be, his own God. And the whole modern day climate change movement is an anti-God religion, which is out.
No, again, like I say, we effed it up, and then we want to clean it up. See, we've been was it anti-God when we were effing it up? No, that's okay, right?
Yeah, but also, wasn't it like you can be God in the fact that you would know the difference between good and evil? Like clearly, they haven't eaten from the fruit because like they don't know the difference between good and evil because they're pretty evil.
Yeah, it's like just go ahead and dump the stuff in the water again, right? It's like what the hell's wrong with you? You know?
To control
They're ass
people.
backwards.
And actually, by stopping us using resources that are so freely available, it's actually hurting.
And see, nobody's stopping you, Ken.
It's
See,
hurting.
you heard that? We're cutting them off. No oil for you. It's like, no, you can still get gas. The idea is to transition, okay? And a lot of companies seem to be coming out with electric vehicles without being told to, because there is a market for it.
Yeah, and Dave, so we all know they hate transitions.
Yeah.
And people coming out. So
yeah.
You didn't use the correct words there to convince them.
Yeah. Purple caught it too. You're going to convince Ken to transition? Yeah, see that's well, and it's a problem. You know, people are always like that. You know, when they came out with catalytic converters for cars, people were cutting them off. You're not putting that on my car. And it's like, it's a filter. It takes the bad stuff out. Well, why are you, what do you know? It's like taking the filters out of your furnace and your air conditioner and stuff, right? I'm going to show that air conditioner a thing or two. Chew, right? It's so stupid.
Yeah.
People, and particularly in poorer countries where, you know, we have cheap energy sources available for us, but then they're not.
Yeah, how about this? Instead of pumping oil in there, why don't we put up solar panels for them? See, they could start with solar. See, there's no reason that they have to have oil and coal, right?
Yeah.
We have the stuff where we can set up people, and you know what's the great thing about solar? You don't need to be near a grid. You're your own grid. No matter where you are, if you've got wind or sun, you're your own grid. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of those places have plenty of sun.
Plenty of sun. Here you go. You know, that's the perfect thing. You put up a couple of those panels. You're running an air conditioner. Next thing you know, yeah.
The problem with solar is like the more solar panels you put on a grid, the more regular power stations you need to compensate for the drops when the sun goes out.
Yeah, that's the ideal thing would be to have the balance of day and night and everybody on it. But as far as
we actually do have
infrastructure is a big problem.
That's cleaner than solar and wind. Because nuclear is cleaner than solar and wind.
But they're talking about poor places. Another problem with poor places is they don't have the infrastructure, right?
Yeah,
they don't have the roads, they don't have the rails, they don't have the lines, they don't have all that stuff. Solar and Wi-Fi, you know what I mean, with the satellite and stuff, hooking up maybe with goofball Elon if you have to, but you know, your internet, you know, in the middle of nowhere with electricity.
Yeah, well, if you have that internet, like it all runs through Russian intelligence, so I wouldn't do that if I were you. And no, but
it's the opportunity to grow. You know what I mean? On the base of you know, not having to transition again in the future. You know what I mean? Just start right in with some green energy. You know?
Yeah, no, like what I keep saying, like over here, they're really big on reducing carbon emissions, and like we got all kind of rules and regulations here to deal with that. Costs a shit ton of money. Like, I don't know if you've ever looked up the Netherlands on a map, but you gotta look, because we're fucking small. You know, and like I actually think you could get a much bigger bang for your buck if you would say like, well, we as the Netherlands, we adopt a region in a different country, and we make sure they can reduce their emissions.
Yeah.
Like, then you could reduce so much more with the same money.
Well, anybody that does things, it's always a transition, you know. And that would be the thing. These are just fear tactics where they're saying, you know, oh, they're going to cut off your gas, and what are you going to do? You know, the same thing when they said they were going to make gas stoves illegal or something like that, and they were saying no, they were just releasing the information that there's, you know, fumes can escape from your stove and all this. They were releasing information so that, you know, maybe that's why you're getting a headache, right? And they're going to take away our stoves. I like having a headache every day, right? It's so stupid.
Well, over here, like, new houses don't get gas.
Yeah.
So there is a truth in that, but like,
yeah,
there are alternatives. Like, you don't need a gas stove.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, set these people up on the right path, because otherwise we're going to have to come back and help them, or they're going to have to do it themselves to transition, which again, it costs a bunch of money. And every time they talk about, as you bring up, a lot of these things cost a lot of money, but it isn't going to be any cheaper next year, right? It's just going to cost more to clean up the mess the longer we wait. So, you know, if you want to talk about money, then that's obvious. It's only going to cost more tomorrow. That's the argument.
And that's also what I think. Like over here, we're already doing quite a lot. And like, if we want to really reduce the emissions, if it's really just about the climate, then we should not be investing that money over here.
Right. I see you. John, about
Okay, I've got to push off because I'm absolutely exhausted.
All right, Simos.
So thank you so much, everybody. And I will see you all next week, if not on Thursday, Dave.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Good night.
Cheers,
good night, Simos. And yeah, don't forget, Simos's link is in the description below. You'll find Simos when he's doing racing, when it's going on. It's on Mondays, and Thursdays he does the Onion Show, and here and there he just pops on and does this and that, maybe some gaming or talking or whatever. Link is in the description, as well as everybody else. Brainless often hangs out with Slim Cyborg. That link is in the description. Mike and Scott with Answers in Atheism. That link's in the description. We always have everybody and everything you could want in the description. So make sure you check that out, and you can go through it, as well as other folks' channels, their affiliates. If you need a shirt, make sure you go over to HiveSci and get one from Bree. And the link for this video is down there too. All that good stuff.
Wait, you said you got everything I want in the everyone?
That's right. You know, you having those problems earlier.
Any cute single ladies in your
description?
What I mean. Then
I was going to say you had that issues earlier and stuff. You should have checked the description first. It could have saved you a lot of time and trouble.
Allowed to use them or can't use them. Or there's all these
the last
restrictions.
guest standing right.
You are actually hanging in there, Brainless. You actually are.
I may have cheated a bit in like the first hour.
So if you look at the USA, and I believe Canada is the same, they're some of the cleanest countries on earth. We have done a lot to reduce pollution. The other thing,
we've done a lot to reduce the pollution we're pumping out. Yes.
Yeah.
The problem is we keep pumping it out.
and also like that's your current president or regime leader have like, has he said like drill baby drill, like?
Oh yeah.
And wait, isn't he trying to allow the cutting of all the forests in your whole fucking country?
Oh, he would level it all if he could sell it to an oil company. The thing is, though, his stuff is all baloney, because we've been drilling like crazy. There's all kind of oil contracts. Biden approved all kinds of them. That stuff always goes on, and we've been energy independent since Obama. We've been drilling plenty of oil, so much that we sell oil. So he just it's favors for people that want to dig in, whatever wildlife area or something that's been, set aside. And so, yeah, he has these friends that want these things done, because they just can't have enough. They got to ruin every last little park and waterway and everything that they can. So
yeah, every last little bit of nature needs to be destroyed.
And it's not that it's a vital issue or anything. We have plenty. Some of these areas, can be left alone.
Yeah, no, but I do think a lot of
Yeah.
people do think that that's the problem, because a lot of people see like, oh, we gotta reduce emissions, and like there's regulations for that, and people kind of get sick of that because like, but I like my big car. And like, yeah, hey, I like a nice big car as well, but like my dad now has a new car, and like it's a hybrid. It's a fucking awesome car. Like, yeah, there is shit's gonna change. Deal with it. It's been changing for fucking ever.
It's the thing. It's what kind of time period do you want to go to, right? Do we need to bring back the blacksmiths so they can shoe horses? Times move, but part of that is, and what they scare people with is, especially people that have had a career for a long time, they're going to be out of a job, rather than making sure they also can transition into, new fields, right? Mm. So it's scare tactics all the way around. Purple says what they did was pass a regulation that newly built houses will not have gas stoves installed when you buy them. You can always put one in after you buy the house. Yeah, it's just one of those things that came out that said, they're probably not as good as you might think. And there was studies that came out, I'm just kidding with headaches, but that might be it. Whatever it is, that you can have side effects from a gas stove. It can affect your pets and all kind of things. So they said, hey, probably a good idea not to push them on people. And that would be the thing. If you're used to not having one, then they'll buy less of them, and it trickles down, and people transition. How about that, right? And I'll tell you what, my electric stove gets plenty hot. The glass top, the flat top, those things radiate like crazy. It gets hot right away.
But like, and like people say like, oh yeah, but it works different than gas. But if you get a induction stove, that works just as responds just as fast as a real flame. And even like, if you want to boil water, you can put it on boost and you'll have your water cooked in fucking no time. Mm. Like it's just a lot easier. Like, yeah.
I say mine gets plenty hot. I mean, it kicks. So I don't have a problem with it getting, a hot pan or any of that. Plenty hot. Purple says, headaches are one of the things you get. I figured from fumes or whatever. I want to have my headaches, It's like, that's what you're fighting for? Okay.
Well, there is like, you get the headaches, but also like, that's probably also due if you don't have good ventilation above your stove. If you have a good ventilation, like, it's obviously not going to be as bad.
Sure.
But like, I think that's also a problem with a lot of places. Like,
Windmill makes another point too. Doesn't like the gas stove, wants a ceramic again. So much easier to clean. It is easier to clean. You know,
Oh yes,
wipe it right
yeah,
off.
but don't go for ceramic. Go for induction. Induction works so much is basically the best part of both sides, because ceramic, like if you turn ceramic off, it's still gonna be radiating heat to your pots, and like if you with induction, you just turn it off and it is off. So
Okay.
obviously
There you go.
the plate's gonna still be kind of warm, but it responds much faster.
We got consumer reports going on here, folks. Get your information here at Saturday Night at the Atheist, but don't take any of it seriously. Okay.
and also, if you have an induction stove, like if you leave it on, it will notice there's nothing on it and it'll cut off. Try that with any of the other two.
Yeah, they've got the sensors on them now. That's pretty neat. It is.
No, but that with an induction stove, that's just part of it, because it's not getting rid of its energy, so it'll have to turn off.
Simply Secular Dave needs a stove that has two buttons, MIG or TIG. That'll do it. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, it's about that time. Well, a few more minutes on Ken Ham here. And yeah, then next week, we'll see what we're going to do. We're going to wing it next week. Mike's talking about hosting, and then I might come on as a guest or something like that. It's kind of up in the air because, I'm going to be out of town for the ARC protest. I'm going to spend the night Saturday because it's too much to drive all in one day and everything. I've got to come back Sunday evening. So I'm going to, this way, I can take my time going down, and all that. Right? So, so I'll be at a Kentucky hotel next Saturday. So Saturday Night at the Atheist will go on one way or another. So, and we were just talking, coming up here, it's going to be almost a year now. We've been doing Saturday Night at the Atheist. So
that's cool.
Before you know it, we're gonna have the big shoe, and be celebrating 1 year of hanging out with y'all, and that'll be really neat too. And hello, cool. John.
Hey, John.
Is it story time now? That's right. I'm telling you all about the Magic Zoo boat. If that doesn't put you to sleep, I don't know what will.
Did John just come in?
John just came in.
Now you're talking about the Magic Zoo boat.
I know.
John missed it.
John, did you miss the Magic Zoo boat?
Just be sure that he didn't miss it. I love it. I just love it.
Just sit right back and you'll hear the tale of a righteous float that started out in ancient times upon a magic zoo boat. The rain began to pour like mad. God's judgment didn't stall. If not for Noah's floating crate, there'd be no life at all. No life at all. No life at all. If Noah and his ancient beard, his wife just rolled her eyes. They boarded raptors, stegosaurs too, all trained to sit and stay. 2 T-Rexes in bunk bed stalls, what could go wrong, we say? 3 sons with wives who taught the dinos how to harmonize. Who taught the dinos how to harmonize? There's gators, frogs, and woolly mammoths, zebras sharing beds, triceratops and kangaroos stacked 10 high on their heads. The ark was built with cubic math and doors that sealed with prayer. You ask about sanitation, don't go there. Just don't go there. Just don't go there. So come aboard this sacred ship where science hits a wall. With creatures from all continents, pre-flood we had them all. The timeline's tight, the logic light, the rain began to float. And now you're on a bumpy ride aboard the Magic Zoo boat. The Magic Zoo boat. The Magic Zoo boat. The Magic Zoo boat. Unicorns dashed to catch the ark, but tripped on fairy tales. They stop to charm the woodland elves and slip through magic veils. Their horns aglow, they miss the boat, no place for their parade. Now stuck in myths and bedtime dreams where fantasy should stay. Where fantasy should stay. But what about old Sasquatch? Did Bigfoot make the trip? Was he too hairy, tall, or shy to board that wooden ship? He maybe hid behind the trees or snuck in with the apes, or rode the flood out on a log, or rode the flood out on a log. Don't fall for tales of magic boats or creatures 2 by 2. Get smart, ask questions, that's the best thing you can do. Education shines the light that clears the myths away. So keep your mind wide open and learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Learn what's true today. Hey, with Skipper Noah at the wheel and wife supreme with nerves of steel. 3 sons with 0 sailing flair. Their wives who brought salon gray hair. 2 rhinos juggling on the deck and Bigfoot hiding near the wreck. Here on the Magic Zoo Boat. Here on the Magic Zoo Boat. Here on the Magic Zoo Boat.
That's just fucking amazing.
I had a lot of laughs making that. I hope you all had some laughs. Hello, Mark Reed. It is good to see you.
Oh, hey, Mark.
I hope you like that, John. We of course, we didn't leave Bigfoot out of there. So if you notice, Bigfoot was in there too.
Of course. Oh, fucking hill Bigfoot.
I did. Standard says folk version. You know, there was one version I was going to use, but then the sound in this one just hit me.
When you hear this, you're expecting a show to start. Like,
yeah, and it's
you're
kind of
expecting
upbeat.
to sit down in front of the television back in the 80s
exactly.
and watch an awesome show about a magic Zubo.
Because I was thinking Gilligan's Island, right? I was like, you know, sit right back, you know, hear a tale, right? And that's how it starts, right? It's sit right back and I was thinking about the parody of Gilligan's Island, sir. So that was what was in my head, right? Was Gilligan's Island. Of course, that's the beginning of the show, right? So, good to see you, Mark. I know Mark's got a show tonight. Mark's busy. He's a night owl like I am. We run into each other during the week too. It's always a pleasure to catch Mark when he's on.
I'm definitely not a night owl.
Well, we do appreciate your night owlish, Brainless. And with that, we're going to give one more. We're going to give Ken one more shot here, and then we're going to wrap up because I know there's a bunch of shows that are going to be starting tonight. And looks like everybody's heading off early this evening. It's just you and me, Brainless, just you and me. But I appreciate you hanging out with me.
You're gonna give him another shot, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna miss.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find something good here before we wrap it up.
They're talking about global warming. When I go back to the 60s, they were saying that the ice is going to melt.
The ice is melting, Ken.
The ice caps are going to melt, and the Earth's going to be flooded. The cities will be flooded.
About that back then, and it came true. And nobody's fucking listening. Still fucking not listening.
No, there are cities that are flooding, Ken. This is happening.
In the 70s, they were talking about an ice age, and
no, they weren't, Ken. That was an article, and it was just an oddball piece. Somebody said, the warming might trigger a cooling. It was never accepted. It wasn't the consensus. Everybody was warming, and the few outliers over the years, in the early years of this, eventually retracted their, they said, yep, it's happening. So it's almost a 100% consensus, Ken. So, no, you're making stuff up.
that there's global cooling. And
I believe it's
droughts
above 70% consensus about climate change.
Yeah, it's very high.
floods, whenever we have a drought today or a flood, they're saying, oh, climate change, everything's.
Yes, because they're becoming worse. And I was looking up some of the stuff. There are farmers around the world that are dealing with failed crops and loss of livestock. It's already happening in places where it didn't happen before. These aren't people that are wandering out in the desert and wondering why their cows are dying. Some of these places, they've been farms and ranches for a long time, if not generations. And all of a sudden, they can't anymore.
I just looked it up, and I think I had old information in my head. The scientific consensus exceeds 99%.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty high.
Yeah, 99%. Yeah, it's like I say, there were experts that were on the fence, didn't want to commit, or were leaning the other way. But most of them have, they've switched over the years. Yeah, come on, if you're still doing that now, then it's just fucking clear that you're getting paid off by big oil.
I hope you saw my Magic Zoo boat, Chris. If not, you need to back up and watch it. You're not the only one that runs funny commercials, you know.
It's an amazing one. It's an amazing one.
I'm now Chris. He's got me in the acting abilities. I will give him that, and he does some great editing. But I think we share the humor aspect of it. You caught the music thing? Okay, good.
Look, there's always been droughts since the flood in particular. In fact, when people ask me, do I believe in?
The problem is, though, having bigger droughts, longer droughts in areas that usually don't have droughts, okay? And then when you don't have food coming in, it's going to affect the poor countries first, the most, but eventually it's going to trickle up. You can't air condition all the crops and the livestock. That's the problem.
Well, we're doing our best with the livestock.
Well,
climate change. I say, sure, there's been climate change ever since the flood. Noah's flood greatly changed climate.
Noah's flood.
The ice age generated by the flood greatly changed climate.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, you had the global flood that decimated the earth. And a few years later, you had an ice age that decimated the earth. Within the last few thousand years, all this happened.
And then, now we have these many species.
And amongst all that, amongst an ice age, there was rapid speciation. It's just too much. Ken, you're ridiculous. Your organization is ridiculous. These people that are sitting there nodding along with you like you're some kind of genius are ridiculous.
He's not ridiculous. He's fucking evil.
He is.
There are droughts in the Bible, massive droughts in the Bible.
Yes, that's not the point, Ken. And you're misrepresenting it terribly. It's the frequency and severity. That's the problem.
Remember at the time of Joseph, for instance. And many people don't even think through the fact that, hey, do you know, in the medieval warm period, which was 900 to 1300 AD, the Vikings farmed Greenland.
Oh, wow. And you know what? First of all, that was just a localized event. Secondly, you can't farm Greenland. The best you can do is some of the stuff near the coast. The rest of it is ice and snow. There's no farming it. Okay, he makes it out like they just farmed all of it or something.
I've heard about bits that it used to be quite a bit warmer and
for a period of time in that area. Yes. Yeah. And
I think that's what he's trying to use to
Yeah, but it was a harsh life, though. It was a harsh life, and eventually they abandoned it and everything because it really sucked living there, and they had to import everything, like every board and everything had to be imported, and it's just But yeah, for a period of time, near where the warm waters, warmed the coast enough. Yeah, they were growing some crops and stuff, and I think they still do. I think they use greenhouses and stuff. He makes it sound like the whole country was on one big farm, and no. And that was a local event, and it has nothing to do with climate change. Nothing.
Today, that's covered in ice. And then after the medieval period, then there was a little ice age from 1300 to 1800.
Again, local event.
1800, following that warm period. We also know that the sun affects climate, sunspots affect climate.
And we've been on a solar minimum or something like that. That's already said, no, it's not from the sun.
And then there's the El Nino.
Currently, there is quite a bit of solar activity.
It's been kicking up lately, yeah, but it's been quiet though. Yeah,
this year there is like a it's a peak and then it's going down again.
Yeah,
and because it's like if it's kind of decent weather out, like if I turn on my CB radio, I can hear Merkins.
You hear Merkins?
No, they bounce off of the solar flares that hit that ionize the atmosphere. Like,
are we at a maximum right now?
IPC.
Yeah, like I say, it changes, and it's got nothing to do with the constant upward trend. Everything's upward with global temperatures. So you will have fluctuations. You will have local events. You will have snow, even though you're having global warming. However, places like here where I live that always had snow, we haven't had snow in years. So there's something weird going on.
And it's not global warming. Well, on average, we're warming up, but it's also mainly climate change. There's just shit's happening. Certain places get more storms, get more rain.
And Pragmatic Crystal stopping through. Hello, Crystal. Always good to see you.
APC.
So it's just such a load of nonsense. And the sad part is people repeat this stuff and without even thinking about how stupid it is.
El Nino, that they affect climates. One is cooling, the other is warming. There's all sorts of cycles, and
those are some of the things that can get screwed up too. Okay, part of the as the waters change temperature and everything, it can change the way the currents move and everything. Because part of the way they move is because of temperature change, and as it warms up, it doesn't move the same, and that can cause big problems. Multiplied up the line. So Ken, these things we rely on. That's why we shouldn't screw them up, Ken.
There are certain places where, I believe it is Greenland. There's parts of Greenland where it is quite nice, but only because of the warm water bringing in warm air, bringing in the heat.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that was Greenland, but I'm pretty sure it was Greenland, but at least a place like that where it's just quite high up north, but it's habitable because the warm sea currents come in there and bringing warmth with them.
Yeah, and Purple points out, they have found the settlements in Greenland. They even had some vineyards. They said they were inhabited for about 50 years and they had to abandon. I've done some stuff. And speaking of, first of all, it's about that time. So we'll throw out here that one more time, Ken Ham is an idiot. He feeds disinformation intentionally. He harms people with his disinformation.
Yeah, and I think he's not an idiot. I think he's just evil.
Wait, yeah, he's not
like,
wired
because
right.
He's doing it on purpose. Like in the magnitude that he's doing it.
Yeah,
he's not stupid. He's just evil.
That's one of the things I've talked about. We've got folks stopping through here that used to work for Ken Ham, and I've spoke to them, and I've spoken to some other people as well. And yeah, there seems to be the idea that these higher ups, they know they're just fooling
bullshitting.
Yeah, they are
bullshitting people. Yeah,
because a lot of them have been to places of higher education, some good schools, and they had to have learned this stuff, all right? And to spew what they do, it has to be intentional. So once again, here at Saturday Night the Atheist, we don't like to make things personal. We certainly aren't calling out all Christians for doing this because we've already stated most Christians dismiss this. We are calling out Ken Ham, though, okay? Ken Ham specifically, and the people that work for him intentionally give you disinformation. All right. And Purple was talking about stuff, and I do know a thing or two about this. So I was gonna let folks know that there was this we're mostly done with that anyways. Okay, good. Okay. Enough with Ken Ham and his and he does have this book targeting children. That's what this title was, teaching kids climatology. Him and his Jessica wrote this terrible book, and part of it is they once again knowingly and intentionally are spewing disinformation. And I called them out on it in this video. You can find it on my channel. I should probably put the link in the description. Let me see. Hold on. Let me. Because they were citing some things, and I was looking them up, and they were not saying what they said on these citations, including these papers and everything. Yeah, can you imagine that? So I did do a video on this, and let me get the link here for it, because I did look the stuff up. I did fact check everything they were saying. And let me see, where's it at here? It's right around here somewhere. So I did attach this here. Here we go. Here it is. I did put this on here because I wanted to mention that I had addressed this before. And here it is in the chat. There we go. And let me drop it here real quick. I will put it here in the description. I'll put it right up here on top. That's right. That's a good place for it. There we go. We'll call it my video review. All right. There it's in the description now, and it's in the chat. Okay, I did address, because the Jessica, the co-writer of this book, did a talk on it or whatever, and so I covered it. And again, I looked up everything, and it was a bunch of garbage. Round of dinosaurs that is entirely designed around spreading disinformation to children about, and that was, a part about. Oops.
Ham and Jessica DeFord.
Same book that where Ken Ham was talking about, and CEO of Answers in Genesis, that is known for his young Earth creationism beliefs that include a 6,000-year-old universe, literal Adam and Eve living with dinosaurs, and those dinosaurs were also on Noah's Ark. AIG excels at spreading disinformation and targeting children with it in their homeschooling materials, along with lots of books, videos, and other media, as well as lots of dinosaurs at his attractions, with a merry-go-round of dinosaurs that is entirely designed around spreading disinformation to children about every field of science, supported by donors with very deep pockets, in his efforts to prove a Kenham version of mythology over every field of science that says his beliefs are unfounded in reality. Let's take a look and see if that still remains the case with what Ken and Jessica have to say about climate change. Surely they did at least 5 minutes worth of researching articles, papers, and data. Well, no, they did, but they cherry-picked. Let's find out.
So, Jessica, tell us a little bit about how observational science plays into the Christian worldview, a biblical worldview of climate change.
When we look at the operational science, the observable science with regards to climate change, we don't see the narrative that's being perpetuated in the media of this alarmism.
When the data is observed, Jessica doesn't see what the media reports about the data.
Well, that might have something to do with
data
her
sets like the National
not
Oceanic
understand
Atmosphere.
shit.
Yeah, she doesn't understand the media not reporting the data. Some nonsense. It's like, well, that's not what their job is. Go look up the paper, and then she goes and looks up the papers, and then she misrepresents them. So it doesn't do you any good because you're going to go back to your boss, and he's going to tell you to fib.
Administration. They have publicly accessible data. I actually had the honor of giving 2 talks here at the ministry, and I walk through some of the observational science with people and download the data sets and show them that we don't need to be fearful when there's sensationalist claims about the earth.
Yep, that's what I thought about it too. I was looking up, I watched her talks through Answers in Genesis, and I think one was on the other channel they have. And they were making this little book tour too. That's why they're doing this interview here. And a bunch of baloney, all of it.
Earth experiencing unprecedented warming.
Yes, we are experiencing unprecedented warming. That's not wrong. And the sources that she cited, I looked, and guess what? Their graph said the same thing. All up, all upward, up. But yet she's saying what I'm looking up doesn't say that. She is being intentionally dishonest. And I just wanted to show a few minutes of this, and then we'll wrap it up.
Or extreme weather events and things like that. We can look at that data. We can.
Extreme weather events was another thing in that citation she gives. I looked it up. They are up. They're all up. The hurricanes, the storms, the droughts, the floods, all are up. Okay. And yes, in some place it'll get a bunch of rain. Okay. The problem is where they're getting a bunch of rain, they're not used to it, and they're getting too much of it. So that's a bad thing. And at the same time, the other places aren't getting it because the weather patterns are getting all screwed up. So once again, I looked this stuff up. You are fibbing, and that's why I had to make this movie this video because she was fibbing big time. You was.
See that it doesn't go along with the narrative.
The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration public data. Okay, good. A source we can check. Yeah, here we go. Jessica also gave 2 talks at. Yeah. So that was her mistake.
Try to close that down.
Yeah, that was her mistake, was she was actually giving the sources for her information. And I actually clicked on the link and looked them up or looked it up myself. AIG sharing the data. Okay. She says the data doesn't show unprecedented warming or extreme weather events. Let's look at the data, shall we? We will use the source Jessica cited. And this is the point I want to make before we wrap things up, okay? Look up, when they give you a source, don't trust what they're saying from it. Do not. because these people are fibbing. I looked it up, and I'm going to show it to you here. It's in the video. Go watch the video. I'm not going to run the whole thing, but I looked it all up, and I show you right on the screen. Doesn't say that. All right, Jessica, we've got your page pulled up. Yep. And we've got 2023. Well, the average annual temperature across the U.S. was 54.4 degrees, 2.4 degrees above the 20th century average. Up. You hear that? She said no such thing. No, it's up. There it is. This is the paper she's citing. Ranking as the nation's 5th warmest year in NOAA's 129-year climate record. See? There you go. Record temperatures. Not what you're saying. They're completely dishonest. It also goes on to say Louisiana, Massachusetts, Mississippi, etc. 10-year warmest year on record. We saw annual precipitation was an inch below. Some areas had their wettest areas. See, there's the problem too. See, that's what I was talking. You've got places that account on a certain amount of rain. They're not getting any. And other places are getting it, and they're getting too much. And it's both bad. And other areas, we had drought reached a peak. There you go. She said, there's no climate extremes. These are all peaks. This is from the paper she's looking at. It's unbelievable. Okay, this is it's so infuriating too. It's why I made this video, because I said, oh, as soon as she said something about, and here's the paper I'm citing in the talk that I was watching the video on. First thing I did was like, oh, I paused the video and I looked it up, right? And it was like, okay, and then I finished listening to it, and I'm like, that's not what it says. I'm looking, here it is on the screen, right? I'm highlighting what it says. It doesn't say that. It's like, how can you lie with such a straight face and be so brazen about it that you will give out the link because you're so confident in your BS that people aren't going to look it up and check you. That's where it is. I can just fib because I know these people aren't even going to bother fact checking me. And that says a lot about the people that are listening to you. None of them are fact checking you, obviously. Or probably some are. Probably the ones that don't listen to you anymore. But when you do, this is what happens in 2023. Big disasters. Last year, the U.S. experienced 28 separate billion-dollar weather and climate disasters. This surpasses 2020, which had 22 events, for the highest number of billion-dollar disasters in the U.S. on record. And she said these things, there are no extremes. These events are not happening. All that she said. Again, I didn't play the whole video. Feel free. I linked it. It's in the chat too. Go watch it. But everything she said, all the extremes, everything, here it is. I'm highlighting it in this video. I'm reading from the same report. And it says, as I just was reading from it, these extremes are up. They're becoming more expensive because they're bigger and bigger and over and above the previous years. So I think that's enough of that. But I did do a video about this very thing when they first were doing their book tour about it. It's been a little while now. And I right away I said, oh, heck no, you're lying. I mean, here, this is the paper, I mean, what else can you say when folks are doing this? They're lying, right? They are saying things, oh, everything in the report says everything's just fine. Temperatures are fine. There's no disasters, none of that. Everything's fine. And yet everything in this report says the exact opposite. And this isn't the only one. I cite some other stuff in here too. As you can see, I was putting the bullshitski on it. Talking stuff about, Al Gore. Oh, the polar bears too. The polar bears are doing just fine. They come into town and get food. They're getting plenty of food at the dumps. No, the problem is they're coming into town. They shouldn't be. They should be out solitary hunting. And they're coming into towns in packs to raid through garbage. Okay, this is not good. Yep. And the reason they can count them is because usually they're out in the middle of nowhere all by themselves, and it's really hard to count polar bears. So they were completely misrepresenting the polar bear problem too. There is a problem with the polar bears. They rely on ice to hunt with, and it's disappearing. I don't know if this was the part or not. She was also pulled up, and I'll just sum it up real quick. She pulled a chunk out of a paper, all this is in the video, where she said there was an increase in sea ice and that they're lying to you about sea ice. I looked again at this report, okay? In one little area, like in a cove, there was increase to sea ice. It was probably locally cold there, right? They had an increase in their sea ice. The whole rest of the global area around the Arctic area and everything was all in, I think, a blue color or something, which was all decrease. So I know she looked at the paper because she found that one little thing because she named it, right? And sure enough, that's in there. In one little local area, they got a little more ice. Everywhere else, they lost ice. The polar bears need ice. They are losing ice. Ken Ham says it's not melting. Well, it is. The polar bears are in trouble. So yeah, the polar bear was giving them a finger. I was pretty ornery in this video. And again, here I am. I'm pulling up the information. Here it is. It's in the video. I'm pulling up the sources they're given. I'm looking up contrary sources to what they were saying, like about the polar bears and everything. Yeah, they ended up getting the dookie on them. Here again is a graph. See the temperatures? Up, 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 up. Oh, wait, this is carbon dioxide concentration. Temperature and carbon dioxide. Here you go. But, hand in hand. There they go. See?
But, Mr. Desk, this dumbass needs to go to bed.
Yeah, well, we're done, and I just wanted to show them. Yeah, that was the thumbnail for it. There are a couple of dirty rats, okay?
That's cute.
And yeah, that's where we're going to end it for this Saturday. I did want to roast him pretty good because we're going to roast him at that too. We're going to be roasting him in person next week because I'm going to Kentucky. So we'll be doing something for next Saturday, whatever it is. Somehow we'll say, hey, and I'm sure there'll be all kind of stuff going on from the protest. I'm sure a lot of people have videos and going with their phone because I plan to. So, and watch for me too. I'll probably pop on if I can with my phone and kind of give you a quick, hey, this is what's going on type thing. So watch for that next weekend. Yeah, watch for me during the week doing the night watch. I also have a video lined up for the next members stream. It's going to be part 3 for the part 2 that we watched last time. And you got to be in on the know to know what that is. So if you're a member or want to become a member and you can come join us. And that'll be a lot of fun because I specialize, I like to think I specialize in finding really terrible videos that we have a lot of fun looking at.
And if you become a member, you can use all those emojis that I just put.
That's right. We've got again, we got all the great emojis here, and that's because we love toast. And speaking of the toast, before we go, we need to check here. Let's see. I need to go to my channel because I logged out when I fixed the thing. And oh, that's cool. Thank you to the new subscribers. 551 subscribers. Thank you very much. Let me see here. Get back to the thing. Okay. The final word is 45 to 55%. So I don't know. We've got a split there.
No. The old one won.
It looks like the old one snuck it out, unless somebody would like to vote at the last minute.
No, they will not.
Any last minute voters want to get in on the poll?
No,
there
they
to,
don't. No,
to tip the balance a little
no,
bit.
they don't. They don't want
We're
to.
really hoping to get the new one.
Accept it. Just accept it. Your effort was not appreciated.
All my hard work was not appreciated in the new video.
Hell fucking no.
All right. Well, I will bring the other one back next week. But because I'm going to bring the other one back, you know what that means. I'm going to have to run the old one more time.
Yeah. Well, no, the new one.
No, the old one.
Oh.
The new one. Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
Which will be the old one.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
And you voted that you didn't like that one, so it's going to be this one.
Love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
All right, so it's going to go back to that one. All right. The people have spoken. We have a true democracy here at the captive desk. 45 to 55. It was close though. 45 to 55%. The old one wins out. So we'll go back to the old one next week. Appreciate everybody that took part in the poll, and we're ending the poll. So the poll is done officially. Okay.
Well,
there we go.
Cool.
And let's see. Yeah. Already gave Brainless again. Be probably was Slim this week, maybe kind of.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So always look for Brainless over there, and Brainless shows up other places like hanging out with me. And thanks for hanging out. I know it's late for you, Brainless, and we always appreciate when you're hanging out with us.
It's
especially tonight, you kept me company and everything. You know.
It's just about 2:30 here. Like it's nothing.
And if anybody's wondering why my shirt says "Bite This," it's for a local pizza place around here, Gino's. So it's funny. It's not offensive or anything. It's for pizza. It is pizza. See, Gino's.
I wish
pizza.
it was offensive.
Okay.
Well.
So everybody have a good one. And with that, let's see. We're gonna hit the outro here, and I'll talk to y'all when I do next time. All right.
Good night, people. Love you.
Tales of lore knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, captive desk, hold our dreams where reality and no myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know. Legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door. Wide, hearts are keen, pages turn to secret scene, ancient maps and hidden lore, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, captive desk, hold our dreams where reality and no myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know.